Chapter 23:20. Qin Yun had just stepped into the sky god realm. Although he had 10 great heavenly Tao images, he did not have the confidence to face such a powerful race emperor. After all, those clan emperors had all crossed the threshold of the saint god realm and entered the very mysterious Tao god realm. Qin Yun knew very little about the Tao god realm. He did not know the specific situation of this realm, and he had never fought with someone from the Tao god realm before. It was also because they were in the 9 dragons' heavenly origin array that he dared to fight with the Arch of the Divine Star Race. If he couldn't win, he could get the Arch of the Divine Star Race out. He's really reckless. In the distance, Yu Shangyun really wanted to rush over and reprimand Qin Yun, because in the current situation, it was best to defend to the death and not rashly fight. Xiao Yuelan is also beside Yu Shangyun. She shook Yu Shangyun's hand and said with a chuckle, "Sister Shangyun, thank you for helping Xiao Yun break through." Yu Shangyun snorted lightly. She had warned Qin Yun not to mention the matter of fusing with the Divine Moon bloodline, divine origin. However, Xiao Yuelan and the others would definitely be able to guess it. The ship that Yang Shiyu and Feng Yu were on was sealed at the peak of the Divine Yang Peak. After the ships broke free, they hurriedly put up their defenses and distanced themselves from the Divine Yang Peak. Yang Shiyu, Feng Yu, and the others also came to Yu Shangyun's side. Together with their clan emperor, they looked at the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation in the distance. The 9 altars of the 9 dragons' heavenly origin array were huge, so the array they formed was also very large. It occupied a large area in the sky, and it was even more spacious than the Divine Yang Peak below. The main reason why Qin Yun made such a big fuss was to find an opportunity to attack the Divine Yang Peak. Yang Shiyu and Yu Wulan had almost become sacrifices, and these people from the Divine Yang race had also participated. Therefore, Qin Yun had to destroy the Divine Yang Peak. The Celestial Star Race the Arch was wearing a blue crystal armor, which was obviously given to him by the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor. The weapon in his hand looked like a saber, but at the same time, it looked like a sword. It was as though the saber and the sword were fused together, and were also made of the same blue crystal. Qin Yun had previously heard from the nameless old man that it was refined by the 9 Heavens Demon Monarch through the celestial cosmic divine sun's yang seed. It was tougher than the blue crystals condensed by lesser demons. With this equipment, the Divine Star Race's the Arch felt much more confident. He had heard that Qin Yun could counter the equipment of the 9 Heavens godly demons, but he believed that the equipment given by the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor was not something that Qin Yun could break easily. The Divine Star Race's the Arch gripped the strange saber in his hand tightly. He was still a little uneasy in the 9 dragons' heavenly origin array. However, he was also somewhat excited, because once he took down Qin Yun from the inside, his Divine Star Race's the Arch would be able to obtain the 9 dragon heavenly origin formation, and the other races' thearchs would not say anything. In addition, Qin Yun had many treasures on him. As the person who captured Qin Yun, he naturally received the most. The white tiger belongs to the 9 Yang Divine Palace. You were once the king of the 9 Yang Palace. I never thought that after so many years, someone would actually want to take revenge for him. The Divine Star Race's emperor sneered. He did not attack, but instead defended. Being inside the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation was equivalent to being in Qin Yun's territory. Attacking blindly was very dangerous. The wisest course of action was to concentrate on defense to avoid being injured by the formation. Qin Yun looked at the kings and dukes of the Divine Star Race and said, "I want to avenge the white tiger. I don't want to kill just you." Ha ha ha. Don't tell me you want to exterminate my Divine Star Race. You can't even kill our kings. The corners of the Divine Star Race's emperor's eyes were filled with contempt as he laughed loudly. If you want to kill me, then hurry up and do it. The Divine Star Race's emperor secretly tried to leave. It was not that easy to leave from the inside. This meant that he might be temporarily trapped inside. What he had to do was to defend with all his strength and wait for daybreak for the myriad realms' divine sun to come out. He had to wait for the 9 heavens' divine rays to use the power of the myriad realms' divine sun to break through the nine dragons' heavenly origin formation. Qin Yun could be considered an old fox. With a single glance, he saw through the Divine Star Race's Emperor's tactics. He naturally could not let the Divine Star Race's Emperor succeed. After daybreak, when the Myriad Realms' Divine Sun came out, it would be very dangerous. Therefore, he had to kill the Divine Star Race's Emperor before the Myriad Realms' Divine Sun came out. Qin Yun did not directly rush over. He stayed inside the Nine Dragons' heavenly origin formation, separated by a few thousand meters from the Divine Star Race's Emperor. He used the Heaven Extinguishing Finger Power and unleashed the Piercing Heaven Finger Power. The Piercing Heaven is like a beam of light. Its penetrating power is extremely strong, bringing with it a vast and mighty heavenly might. It shook the space, stirring up waves of energy waves, and struck the Divine Star Race's Emperor in an instant. The finger power landed on the Divine Star Race's Emperor's head. It is very powerful and frightening. When the experts outside the Nine Dragons' heavenly origin formation saw this, their hearts trembled. The Divine Star Race's Emperor is not to be trifled with. The surface of his skin suddenly flashed with seven-colored starlight. Together with the blue crystal armor on his body, it produced an extremely strong defensive power. Bang! The piercing heaven finger power landed on the seven-colored barrier and produced a muffled sound. The energy shook and exploded, transforming into a gale that carried a strong light and rushed out in all directions. The Divine Star Race's Emperor was also pushed back a few meters by the impact, but he is not injured at all. This is the disparity. Elder Zhao laughed and said, even if he stood still and let him hit him, he would not be able to do anything to the Divine Star Race's Emperor. It seems like breaking the 10-image devil curse isn't that strong. The Primal Chaos Race's Emperor said with a disdainful smile. The reason why that guy is so powerful is mainly because of those equipment. Those things were all snatched by him from all over the place. If he didn't have the God King Heavenly Seal, the Nine-Sun Heaven-Raising Pagoda, the Sun Soul, and the Myriad Heaven Divine Saber, he would be nothing. As for the Sword of the Heavens being snatched away, the Sword God Tribe's Emperor was still brooding over it. The Divine Star Race's The Arch was secretly delighted because Qin Yun's attack was not too strong. It meant that he could easily hold on until the Myriad Realms' Divine Sun came out. When the Myriad Realms' Divine Sun attacks the Nine Dragons' Heavenly Origin Array and disturbs Qin Yun, it will be the time for the Divine Star Race's The Arch to capture Qin Yun. While the Divine Star Race's The Arch was scheming, Qin Yun suddenly took a step forward. It's the absolute Heaven 9 steps. Yang Shi said in a low voice, although I taught him the improved 9 Extinction Heart Sutra, I rarely saw him use it. This Heaven Extinguishing 9 steps is a very powerful move within the Heaven Extinguishing steps. It's rather special, and it can't be considered a movement skill. When Qin Yun took a step in the air, it seemed to shake the ground. Below him is the Divine Sun Peak. At this moment, it is like a drum being stepped on by Qin Yun, causing it to make banging sounds and tremble unceasingly. Just this kind of aura is very frightening. What everyone can't see is that the 10 Meridians' divine power in Qin Yun's body are crazily attacking. That is even more frightening. The 10 Meridians' divine power rushed into his Imperial Heaven Heart. Then the Imperial Heaven Heart twisted the 10 Meridians' divine power into one and turned it into a blue-colored divine power. Qin Yun called this divine power Imperial Heaven Divine Power. The Imperial Heaven Divine Power is extremely powerful. When it flowed through Qin Yun's body, Qin Yun felt a slight pain in his body. After the heaven-trampling god boots on his feet absorbed the Imperial Heaven Divine Power, an even stronger power rushed into Qin Yun's body. Qin Yun fused all kinds of strengthened divine power in his body together in one go and attacked the Nine-Sun Divine Hammer. Everyone could see that when he took a step forward, his arms suddenly swelled up, as if it was about to be torn apart by a very fierce power. This kind of power actually almost tore apart Qin Yun's heavenly body. Come, you weak ant-like heavenly god, the Divine Star Emperor laughed loudly and said. Suddenly, Dozens of pearl-sized stars revolved around his body. These are all specially refined stars that could become pearl-sized. When revolving around the body, the Tao evolution runes of the stars flowed and formed a defensive formation. Qin Yun arrived in front of the Divine Star Emperor and raised the nine-sun Divine Hammer. The Divine Hammer suddenly trembled, and an incomparably huge Divine Hammer illusion appeared. "That's the great heavenly Tao image," a race emperor shouted in shock. The Divine Hammer illusion is very big. This is the great heavenly Tao image released by Qin Yun and combined with the nine-sun Divine Hammer. How can this guy's great heavenly Tao image be so terrifying? This level of great heavenly Tao image is enough to draw in heavenly power. Many experts saw the great heavenly Tao image appear with heavenly might and draw in the power of heaven and earth. They all exclaimed in admiration, because when they were in the heavenly God realm, the great heavenly Tao image was relatively weak. After the huge Divine Hammer heavenly shadow drew in enough power of heaven and earth, it suddenly returned into the Divine Hammer and gathered even more powerful energy inside the Divine Hammer. Heavenly Extermination 9 Style, Void Fragmentation. The Divine Hammer fell down. Everyone can see that wherever the hammerhead passed through, space shattered and all kinds of energy were torn to shreds by the formidable energy. The great star array that the Divine Star Emperor is so proud of did not have any effect, because Qin Yun's hammer directly shattered the void, penetrated through space, passed through many layers of defense, and directly struck the Divine Star Emperor's body. The hammerhead fell down from the Divine Star Emperor's head and actually directly tore apart the Divine Star Emperor's body from the middle of his head to his waist. The upper body of the Divine Star Emperor has already been torn into two halves from the middle. This scene caused everyone to be alarmed and shocked. Qin Yun also took a deep breath. He also consumed a lot of energy just now. The Divine Star Emperor stood there motionlessly and let him hammer. Then he must make good use of this opportunity. What caused Qin Yun to be somewhat surprised is that the Divine Star Emperor is still alive. His soul is extremely powerful. It was not torn to shreds just now. Bastard! The Divine Star Emperor's soul let out a furious roar, transformed into a white shadow, and rushed out from his body. The Divine Star Emperor's soul quickly abandoned his body and flew out. If he did not leave, he was worried that his soul would be sealed inside his body and then killed. The Divine Star Emperor actually lost against the Nine Yang Palace King. Qin Yun actually believes that if the Divine Star Emperor was not so afraid of death and directly fought, his chances of victory might be higher. "I did not lose," the Divine Star Emperor's soul transmitted a voice. "Your soul is so weak." After Qin Yun finished speaking, he controlled the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation and activated a killing formation that specializes in dealing with souls. "It's not that easy to destroy my soul." A huge hexagonal mirror suddenly appeared at the Divine Star Emperor's soul. This mirror is as large as a plaza. It floated in the air and faced Qin Yun below. "You force me to use the Heavenly Universe Divine Tool? Fine, I will devour your heavenly body." The Divine Star Emperor laughed sinisterly. The Heavenly Universe Divine Tool has appeared. Elder Zhao, Nine Heavens Demon Emperor, and the other emperor's eyes immediately turned fiery. Chapter 23-21. Qin Yun did not know what a Celestial Cosmos Divine Artifact was, but he could roughly guess that such a Celestial Cosmos Divine Artifact definitely came from beyond the Nine Heavens. Furthermore, it was an extremely rare one. He took out the God King Spear, gathered his divine power, and fired several energy bullets at the mirror in the air. The soul of the Divine Star Races the Arch was inside the mirror, controlling this divine artifact. It had already been many years since the White Tiger was killed by the Divine Star Races the Arch. Now that so many years had passed, the Divine Star Races the Arch must have a very good control over this divine artifact of the universe. Qin Yun used the Divine King Spear to test the mirror. When the energy hit the mirror, it was like a stone falling into water. It only created a small splash and did not destroy the mirror. How can the likes of you touch a divine tool of the universe? The divine star Thearch's heart swelled as he laughed. Palace Monarch, Nine Yang, let me enjoy the heavenly body that you painstakingly cultivated. Qin Yun immediately unleashed all kinds of attacks. He also took out the nine-sun heaven-raising pagoda and made it grow bigger. Then he charged towards the mirror that blotted out the sky. The mirror was bombarded by Qin Yun's various violent attacks, but it was not damaged at all. It even absorbed a lot of energy. Even a nine-sun sky raising pagoda couldn't pierce through the mirror. As the mirror slowly pressed down, the nine dragons' heavenly origin formation madly revolved, generating a wave of energy that blocked the descending mirror. Damn it, I can't teleport this thing out. Qin Yun never expected that this heavenly cosmos divine tool would be so powerful. He had no choice but to put away the nine-sun sky raising pagoda. If he continued, it might be damaged. Seeing how powerful the sky divine weapon was, the eyes of the race emperors and experts outside turned red. I heard that the Empyrean divine weapons are above the nine heavens, forged by the nine heavenly furnaces. The nine heavens demon emperor said unhappily. There are only 9 Empyrean divine weapons in total. Yes, this should be the Star Dome divine mirror. Elder Zhao's old eyes were about to burst into flames. He cursed in a low voice. The divine star races the arch is really a bastard. Why didn't he take out such a powerful thing earlier? If I had taken it out earlier, the divine Yang Peak's barrier wouldn't have been destroyed. Hearing Elder Zhao's words, the other race emperors also cursed under their breaths. They had worked hard for a long time and almost succeeded. If the divine star race's great emperor had taken it out earlier to block Qin Yun's nine-sun heaven-raising pagoda from attacking the divine Yang Peak, the offering would not have been released. The more they thought about it, the angrier they became. They also knew that the divine star races the arch was afraid of being targeted by them, so he hid the sky divine artifact tightly. The surface of the star dome divine mirror suddenly fluctuated, and a strong white light appeared. Although the nine dragons' heaven origin formation was very large, the Star Dome divine mirror was above the nine dragons' heaven origin formation and completely enveloped the entire formation. The white light that shone down from the mirror enveloped every corner of the array. Qin Yun had no way of dodging it. When the intense white light landed on Qin Yun's body, everyone exclaimed. Because Qin Yun's body seems to be distorting and fluctuating, he is swaying. His body looks like it will be kneaded into a ball at any moment. Clan Emperor's sister. The Palace King can't hold on much longer. Little Yuxiang gritted her teeth and said, "Let's go and help. A heavenly body won't be destroyed that easily." Yu Shangyun looked at the divine moon in the sky and said, "Let's prepare for the great battle after daybreak." Shen Yu Tianlong, divine martial judge, Yin Long, and Xia Wufeng, Qin Yun's friends, are all very worried. They all want to go over and help because Qin Yun's body has been distorted. Qin Yun's wrist suddenly emitted an intense blue light. Sun Heavenly Shield. Through the nine-sun divine spirit, Qin Yun released the Sun Heavenly Shield. Like a translucent umbrella, it blocked the intense white light. When others saw his body distort and deform, it was actually because his heavenly body was intertwined with a very strong tyrannical power, causing it to become like that. Fortunately, his heavenly body was strong enough. Not only was it not destroyed, it didn't even feel any pain. The Sun Heavenly Shield blocked the white light, allowing Qin Yun to temporarily escape danger. However, the huge Star Dome divine mirror is pressing down bit by bit. Seeing that the white light was useless against Qin Yun, the white surface of the Star Dome divine mirror suddenly turned pitch black, just like the night sky. Then, many specks of light appeared on the black mirror. When Qin Yun saw those specks of light, he knew that they were stars. There are a large number of stars inside the Star Dome divine mirror. Boom! A star suddenly appeared. It is a several hundred-meter wide fireball. It flew out from the mirror and smashed towards Qin Yun. Qin Yun promptly controlled the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation to attack. 9 mountain-like altars suddenly appeared on the surface of the surface. The dragon heads spewed out thunder and fire. Following Qin Yun's control, they attacked the star. Rumble, the star was instantly shattered into many fragments. Those fragments were also crushed into powder and absorbed by the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation. Nine-Sun Palace King, stop struggling. Obediently offer your heavenly body to me. The Divine Star Race Emperor is extremely arrogant at this moment. He laughed confidently and said, although his body has been severely injured and his soul has left his body, he feels that he is still very powerful, especially now that he is hiding inside the heavenly divine tool. He is simply invincible. If he could obtain Qin Yun's heavenly body, then he might be able to obtain Qin Yun's divine weapons and become even more powerful. Thinking of this, the Divine Star Race Emperor became even more excited. Xiao Yuelon is very worried. She bit her lips and will pass away at any time. Yu Shangyun pulled Xiao Yuelon and Yang Shiyue's hands and said in low voice, "Don't worry, if he is really in danger, he will definitely not be so calm." Heavenly divine tools are very rare. Even if someone obtained one, they would hide it well and not easily take it out to avoid being targeted by others. Therefore, there are very few people who understand heavenly divine tools. Even experts like Nine Heavens Demon Emperor and Elder Zhao, who came from above the Nine Heavens, don't know much about heavenly divine tools. It is already very rare for Elder Zhao to be able to recognize the Star Dome Divine Mirror. He doesn't know much about heavenly divine tools and doesn't know how to deal with them. In the eyes of those race emperors, forget about Qin Yun. Even they might be killed by this heavenly divine tool. Those race emperors curse the Divine Star Race Emperor in their hearts again. On one hand, the Divine Star Race Emperor hid this treasure too well and didn't take it out to use. Otherwise, they wouldn't have fallen into such a situation. In addition, the Divine Star Race's The Arch was obviously saving this trump card for the future struggle for hegemony. If these race emperors didn't guard against the heavenly divine tool when fighting with the Divine Star Race Emperor, then they would definitely be like Qin Yun, pressured to the point of not knowing what to do. Qin Yun was at a loss at the beginning, but now he suddenly understood the heavenly divine tool. A divine tool refined from the nine heavens? I have mastered the imperial heaven divine art. Not to mention a divine tool refined from the nine heavens. I can even control the nine heavens. Qin Yun suddenly opened his heavenly eye. When he cultivated the heavenly body, his eyes were in pain for a period of time. That was because the heavenly eye was also evolving. After he used the heavenly eye, his eyes were still blue. What was different from before was that there seemed to be two small blue moons inside his eyeballs. They were connected to his spirit nether moon and could release even more powerful mental power. Whoosh! Behind Qin Yun, a golden divine moon suddenly appeared. One of his great heavenly Tao images is the Divine Moon Tao image. The Divine Moon Tao image appeared and became very big. It shot down a divine light that landed on Qin Yun's head, helping him strengthen his mind. Why is his great heavenly Tao image so big? Yunlong said with a frown. That moon is about to fill up the entire formation, because when he cultivated the divine, profound Tao image, he put in enough effort. Xinyu Tianlong said. Others only saw the Divine Moon Tao image. What they did not know is that the Divine Moon Tao image also concealed the Nether Sun. Qin Yun operated the Imperial Heaven Divine Art, and then used the move Sun and Moon Splendor. The Sun and Moon Splendor formed and shot out through Qin Yun's heavenly eye into the Star Dome Divine Mirror. Formidable mental power is like a monstrous wave. It poured into the Star Dome Divine Mirror and formed Imperial Heaven Divine Power. One thought Imperial Heaven. With a thought, Qin Yun controlled the Heavenly Divine Tool. The Divine Moon Tao image and the Nether Sun Tao image suddenly returned to Qin Yun's body and continued to release the formidable Sun and Moon Splendor power. This kind of Sun and Moon Splendor power can not only devour and dissolve other people's energy, it can also attack the soul. Especially after fusing, it will become extremely powerful. Everyone does not know what Qin Yun is doing. They only saw him release a very large divine moon Tao image and then shoot out two beams of light into the mirror. The mental power released by Qin Yun's heavenly eye condensed into two strong lightning bolts and entered the star dome divine mirror. They directly searched for the soul hidden inside and at the same time controlled the star dome divine mirror. The star dome divine mirror originally wanted to continue dropping stars, and the mirror's surface was also black. But now the mirror's surface is gradually returning to its original appearance, just like a mirror. The divine star emperor's soul is hiding inside the star dome divine mirror. He sensed that the star dome divine mirror is gradually losing control and is no longer under his control. He suddenly screamed in fear. "Caught you!" Qin Yun took out the spirit creation heavenly cauldron and opened the lid. The strong lightning bolts shot out by his heavenly eye suddenly turned into chains that wrapped around a white ball of light and dragged it out. The white ball of light is struggling. With a glance, it is obvious that it is the soul of the divine star emperor. Seeing the divine star emperor's soul being forcefully pulled out, everyone present is very surprised. They are very curious as to how Qin Yun did it. The divine star emperor's soul was thrown into the spirit creation heavenly cauldron and was burned and dissolved by Qin Yun. In an instant, the soul scattered. The star dome divine mirror suddenly turned into a white mist and gradually dissipated. It is as if it self-destructed along with the soul of the divine star emperor. In fact, the star dome divine mirror has long been captured by Qin Yun's heavenly eye. The star dome divine mirror is very magical. It is in a soul body state and can transform into a powerful physical object at any time. Just as Qin Yun stored the star dome divine mirror in his spiritual world, a golden door suddenly appeared above him. Heavenly God, Tribulation Gate. Qin Yun's expression sank. He never expected that his Tribulation Gate would come so quickly. Seeing this huge golden door, the entire divine Sun Heavenly Island is in an uproar. There are two ways to break through to the Heavenly God realm. One is to use the great Heavenly Tao image to attract tribulation and then cross the lightning tribulation together with the great Heavenly Tao image. Usually, it is a very weak lightning tribulation. It is mainly used to temper the great Heavenly Tao image. Chapter 23-22. So long as Qin Yun can destroy the Tribulation Gate, his great Heavenly Tao image will become a sacred Heavenly Tao image. Opening Tribulation Gate, Tao image becoming sacred. Many people hope that one of their Tao images can attract a Tribulation Gate when they reach Heavenly God realm. Through the experience of destroying the Tribulation Gate, the Tao image will be greatly improved. It is something that many experts yearn for even in their dreams. The reason why some sacred deities are so powerful is because one or two of their Tao images attract Tribulation Gates. If they do not attract Tribulation Gates and only use ordinary lightning tribulation to refine the Tao image, then the Tao image will be very mediocre. Qin Yun has just stepped into Heavenly God realm. Yet when his Tao image attracted tribulation for the first time, it attracted a Tribulation Gate. This made many people from powerful races around the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin Formation very envious. There are many sacred deities from powerful races here, especially those with noble titles. Many of them cannot attract a Tribulation Gate. Those who can attract a Tribulation Gate will eventually become nobles and become even stronger after stepping into Tao God realm. Qin Yun only had a few divine, profound Tao images in his past life. Only one of them could attract a Tribulation Gate, but it was enough to let him possess great power. He is now looking at the golden sacred Tribulation Gate in the sky. His heart is filled with excitement. He was worried that he would not be able to attract a Tribulation Gate after breaking through to Heavenly God realm. Now that the Tribulation Gate has appeared, he must attack it with a divine, profound Tao image. If he cannot break through the Tribulation Gate, the divine, profound Tao image will be destroyed. There are many cases where the Tao images were destroyed and their strength was greatly reduced. He broke through so quickly, his foundation is still shallow, he will not be able to break through the tribulation gate, Elder Zhao said. Attacking the tribulation gate is very important. We will disturb him from the side. Don't let him attack the gate smoothly. If he fails, he will lose a great heavenly Tao image. He will no longer have 10 Tao images. The primal chaos race emperor said with evil smile. He can attract the tribulation gate. It is clear that his luck is pretty good, but the tribulation gate appearing at this time is also bad luck for him. Let's join hands and attack his formation. Divine Sword Emperor said with mischievous smile. Nine Heavens Demon Emperor also laughed loudly and said, even if we cannot destroy his formation, we can still disturb him from the outside. Seeing the appearance of Qin Yun's tribulation gate, Elder Zhao and the others are overjoyed. They all knew the importance of breaching the tribulation gate. If they failed, the consequences would be dire. When Qin Yun heard those people's words, he immediately strengthened the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. At the same time, he secretly sent a voice transmission to Xiao Yuelon, telling her to inform Yu Shangyun and Xinyu Tianlong to prepare for the great battle after daybreak. After daybreak, the myriad world's divine sun would be extremely powerful. Elder Zhao and the other 9 heaven celestial race clansmen would also become much stronger. When that happened, Qin Yun could not guarantee that his 9 dragons' heavenly origins array would be able to withstand it. If the 2 myriad worlds' divine suns, one big and one small, were to attack the 9 dragons' heaven origin formation, one could imagine how powerful they would be. Yu Shangyun heard Qin Yun's message from Xiao Yuelon and said in low voice, he wants to attack the tribulation gate now. Will there really be no problem? He was previously a profound god, but after breaking through, he quickly passed through the great god realm and became a god. Although his great heaven's path image is strong, the tribulation gate he attracted is not weak either. He said it's fine. Xiao Yuelon said, Sister Shangyun, how are you recovering now? Su Xin gave me a very strong recovery power, white, sun divine dew. After I consumed it, I recovered very quickly, no need to worry. Many heavens divine moon also needs to recover quickly. We will need divine moon's help in the great battle after daybreak. Yu Shangyun said, Yueme and the others are still inside the divine moon. They will definitely recover by daybreak. Xiao Yuelon nodded. Xinyu Tianlong and the others also consumed a lot of energy in the great battle. When daybreak arrives, they will have to fight against Heavenly Law Hall and Devil Court's people. If those 9 heavens' divine demons obtain the help of the myriad world's divine sun, they will become even stronger. This is what they are worried about. Inside Qin Yun's 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation, the sacred tribulation gate suddenly appeared without any warning. Even now, Qin Yun is unable to understand why this kind of tribulation gate would appear after reaching heavenly god realm. Outside the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation, divine sword race's emperor, primal chaos race's emperor, Elder Zhao, and 9 heavens demon emperor are taking the lead to attack the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. They had wanted to invite the divine yang race and the divine sky race as well, but the other powerful races had not made a move. The commotion outside the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation was indeed very disruptive. The holy gate of tribulation suddenly trembled. I must quickly attack the gate, otherwise the sacred tribulation gate will disappear. Qin Yun can sense that the great heavenly Tao image corresponding to the sacred tribulation gate is the heavenly lion Tao image. He immediately released the heavenly lion Tao image. Roar! The image of a mighty heavenly lion appeared and let out a furious roar as it charged towards the holy tribulation gate. Seeing this heavenly lion, Elder Zhao's face darkened and he cursed in a low voice. Why does this guy have this kind of Tao image? In a myriad realm's divine sun, there is a heavenly lion old ancestor sealed. That damned old thing is very difficult to deal with. When the heavenly lion Tao image first came out, it turned into a faint illusory image, but it gradually turned into a mighty heavenly lion. It used the heavenly lion divine art and crazily attacked the sacred tribulation gate. Other powerful races clan emperors are looking at Qin Yun attacking the robbery gate from distance. For many juniors, attacking the tribulation gate was a rare sight. And Qin Yun's tribulation gate is very big. It can be seen that it is very strong. The heavenly lion Dao image's entire body is burning with golden red flame. It is furious and ferocious. Its mouth is letting out a deep roar that vibrates unceasingly. Its two huge lion claws can easily destroy a 1,000-feet-tall mountain. Such a big guy is continuously attacking the sacred tribulation gate, but it is still unable to move it. Everyone exclaimed in admiration. Although Qin Yun's breakthrough is very fast, his great heavenly Tao image is not weak at all. It can even compare to many sacred gods. The great heavenly Tao image he released now is like a true, fierce heavenly lion. It has a very powerful body. All the heavenly gods present believe that they will not be able to resist this violent heavenly lion's attack. Only the corresponding great heavenly Tao image can attack the tribulation gate. Qin Yun can only control the great heavenly Tao image to attack the gate. He cannot borrow the power of other Tao images. Mental power can be used. Qin Yun secretly tested it and discovered that the tribulation gate can directly devour mental power. It is completely useless. This won't do. If this goes on, we won't be able to break the tribulation gate. Qin Yun is somewhat anxious. Primal Chaos Race's emperor laughed loudly and said, "This guy is going to fail. He has failed to break the tribulation gate." This is a big scene. Everyone prepare to record it. Nanyang Palace King has failed to break the tribulation gate. We must properly record it down. Elder Zhao also shouted loudly, deliberately disturbing Qin Yun. Qin Yun secretly used blood spirit power to assist. He discovered that it can be used, but it is unable to strengthen the heavenly lion Tao image. Xiao Yun, use inscription spirit. You have Beast King inscription spirit. Use blood spirit power to make Beast King inscription spirit appear, and then fuse it with the heavenly lion Tao image. Making the inscription spirit appear is a very profound technique. Moreover, it requires frequent practice. Qin Yun could only condense Moon Lady inscription spirit before. It took the form of Yang Shuriwei. I wonder what Beast King inscription spirit's form will look like. Qin Yun has some doubts in his heart. He thinks that it might be a dragon, a heavenly lion, or even a white tiger. Although this is the first time he is trying to make Beast King inscription spirit appear, he is not a bit unfamiliar with it. This is mainly related to his Imperial Heaven Heart. It allows him to proceed very smoothly. Qin Yun's blood spirit power is very strong now. After releasing it, it very quickly condensed into a human shape. It is human shape and a bit small. Qin Yun is somewhat amazed. What is the basis for this form? Why can't I control it? When he condensed Moon Lady inscription spirit before, it naturally condensed into Yang Shuyue's appearance. And now, just like before, he is unable to control it. Everyone doesn't know what Qin Yun is doing. They can only see that the heavenly lion Tao image is unable to break the tribulation gate. Qin Yun's blue blood spirit power condensed into a light ball. A human shape appeared within a light ball and then gradually turned into a cute little girl. Yang Yang! Qin Yun jumped in fright. Yang Yang is a 9th heaven Xian sparrow. Moreover, it is a bird type. Beast King inscription spirit is very helpful when carving 9th heaven Xian sparrow totem or phoenix totem. But the Beast King inscription spirit's form is Yang Yang. This caused Qin Yun to be very surprised. After the Beast King inscription spirit transformed, under Qin Yun's control, it rushed into the heavenly lion Tao image and entered the heavenly lion Tao image. Seeing the little girl suddenly appear, not only Qin Yun is surprised, other people are also very surprised. Why did he bring out a little girl? After Yang Yang entered the heavenly lion Tao image, heavenly lion totem runes suddenly appeared on the heavenly lion Tao image's surface, making the heavenly lion Tao image look even more valiant. Boom! The heavenly lion Tao image roared. Its lion claw vigorously slapped the tribulation gate and directly opened the golden sacred tribulation gate. After opening the tribulation gate, the heavenly lion Tao image entered the tribulation gate, and then the tribulation gate closed. The tribulation gate closed. It gradually became smaller and then entered Qin Yun's body. This scene caused everyone to be dumbfounded, because normally, after the tribulation gate is breached, the tribulation gate would shatter and transform into energy and enter the Tao image. This is the same for whoever breached the tribulation gate. But now Qin Yun's situation is different. The Tao image entered the tribulation gate, and then the tribulation gate entered Qin Yun's body. Sorry to disappoint you. Qin Yun looked at Elder Zhao and other people outside and chuckled. Just as he finished speaking, golden light suddenly flickered all around inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, and then 9 tribulation gates appeared. These are the tribulation gates of his other 9 Tao images. 10 Tao images, 10 tribulation gates. 9 of them appeared at the same time. If Qin Yun can break through all of them, he will directly step in his sacred God realm. Should I break through all 9 tribulation gates at the same time? Qin Yun's expression is grave. This is a great test for him. Chapter 23:23. If the 9 tribulations sect appeared at the same time, the difficulty of breaking through would also increase by a lot. What happened to Qin Yun had already exceeded the scope of everyone present's understanding. Only Tian Dao Zi, who was standing on top of the heavenly altar, knew what was going on. He murmured, 10 Tao images, 10 tribulations gate. 10 is above 9. He will be able to control the 9 heavens. Yu Shangyun gazed at the 9 dragons' heaven origin array in the distance and said in a solemn voice, Yulan, this situation is not recorded in the Sun Moon Heart Sutra. In the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra has 10 images, but the 10 tribulations sect never mentioned it. Furthermore, Xiao Yun did not break the tribulation gate. Xiao Yulan nodded. After destroying the tribulation gate will not be destroyed, it will enter his body. What exactly happened to his body? Why is it different from the records? Yu Shangyun was very puzzled. I don't know. Xiao Yulan shook her head. Although I've been with him for a long time, I do not have a complete understanding of his situation. Not to mention Xiao Yulan. Even Qin Yun himself had to figure out his own path. Therefore, he did not know what had happened. He only knew that no matter what happened, he could only grit his teeth and face it. Just like at this moment, the 9 tribulations gate had appeared in front of him. Therefore, he was going to destroy these 9 tribulations gates. The chaos races the arch, and the others were extremely anxious. Even though they didn't know Qin Yun's situation, they knew that if Qin Yun could break through the 9 tribulation gates, he would definitely become a sacred god. Qin Yun, who was only at the sky god realm, was able to achieve complete victory in a one-on-one battle with the divine star races the arch. If the tribe Thearchs, 9 Heavens Demon Emperor, and Elder Zhao were joined forces to attack the sky god realm Qin Yun, they would still be able to take him down. If Qin Yun were to break through to the Saint God realm, they wouldn't be as confident. Qin Yun, who was in the Saint God realm, was definitely extremely powerful. He was definitely not someone that any race's emperor could face alone. The Divine Sword race the arch kept scolding the Divine Yang race and the other powerful races. Because if those powerful races joined in and joined forces to attack Qin Yun's 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, they might be able to break through. However, the clan Thearchs of the Divine Yang race, Divine Sky race, 9 Shades race, and other powerful races were all very worried that Qin Yun would take revenge on them. It's almost dawn. The power of the myriad world's divine sun will definitely be able to stop that guy. Elder Zhao said, I have already informed my companions on the myriad realm's divine sun and asked them to send people down to support us. The 9 Heavens Demon Emperor said coldly, we have to continue attacking. If he breaks through, not only will our plan to create the celestial sun fail, but we might also be in trouble. At the mention of the sky universe divine sun, they once again cursed the dead divine star the arch in their hearts. If the divine star races the arch had not been so selfish and had taken out the Stardome divine mirror to block Qin Yun earlier, there would not have been so many problems. The Nine Dragons Heaven Origin formation was being attacked by hundreds of people outside. Although the array was powerful, it was not invincible. Qin Yun knows the Nine Dragon Heavenly Origin formation very well. He knows the limit of what the formation can withstand. Therefore, he must quickly destroy the 9 tribulation gates. If the Nine Dragons Heavenly Origin formation was destroyed, then he would definitely be hindered from breaking through the tribulation gate, which would greatly affect his progress. The 9 altars suddenly began to spin, unleashing a powerful barrier of light that blocked out everything within the formation. No one could see what was happening inside the formation. That's because Qin Yun wants to release his great heavenly Tao image and coordinate it with the inscription spirit to destroy the remaining 9 sacred tribulation gates. Divine Moon Tao image's tribulation gate will come first. Qin Yun released the Divine Moon Tao image. At the same time, he condensed the Moon Lady inscription spirit and released it. The Moon Lady inscription spirit transformed into a beautiful woman wearing a snow-white long skirt. She has the appearance of Yang Shuriwei. She floated in the sky like an immortal and entered the Divine Moon Tao image. Moon totem runes appeared on the Divine Moon Tao image's surface. Then it began to spin frantically and quickly collided with the sacred tribulation gate. Boom! After colliding a few times, the floating sacred tribulation gate was destroyed. After the Divine Moon Tao image entered the tribulation gate, the gate closed and became smaller. Finally, it returned to Qin Yun's body, just like the heavenly lion tribulation gate. 8 more. Next is the Divine Dragon Tao image. The Beast King inscription spirit transformed into Yang Yang again and entered the Divine Dragon Tao image. The people outside only heard the dragon roar and roughly guessed that Qin Yun has the Divine Dragon Tao image. As for what happened inside, they didn't see it directly, so they don't know. Next are the Divine Hammer, Divine Saber, and Divine Cauldron. They are all weapon Tao images. After Qin Yun's Tool King inscription spirit took form, it actually took the appearance of Lu Yu and Shu Yin. Moreover, it is filled with killing intent. Divine Hammer, Divine Saber, and Divine Cauldron also smoothly broke through their sacred tribulation gate. Then it is Nether Sun. This requires the use of Sun Emperor inscription spirit. Xiao Yun, these inscription spirits transformed into your form. They must be the people around you. Ling Yun said, Sun Emperor inscription spirit. Who is it? I don't know. Qin Yun only knows that the inscription spirit's form is formed by the subconscious of his soul. This is not something he can control. After the Sun Emperor inscription spirit took form, its appearance caused Qin Yun and Ling Yun to feel very surprised. It is actually by Su Xin. Actually, this is not strange. She is White Sun King, and she has White Sun inside her body. Ling Yun said, the Sun Emperor inscription spirit took form is exactly the same as by Su Xin. After entering the Nether Sun Tao image, it charged towards the tribulation gate and instantly smashed it open. It can be said that it was very easy. Now there are 3 more special Tao images left. They are Heavenly Tao Divine Rune Image, Ling Yun, and Heavenly Tao Image. These 3 Tao images are all very special. Heavenly Tao Divine Rune should be considered a Heavenly Tao totem. Then it should be possible to use Totem Inscription Spirit. Ling Yun said, and I think so too. Qin Yun took a deep breath and released the Heavenly Tao Divine Rune Image. Heavenly Tao Divine Rune Image looks like a group of interweaving runes. This is also very mysterious to Qin Yun. Heavenly Tao Divine Rune is very important to Qin Yun. Although Qin Yun is ignorant about Heavenly Tao Divine Runes, he knows that Heavenly Tao Divine Rune led him to the Tao. I just don't know who the Totem Inscription Spirit looks like. Ling Yun also began guessing. It might be Jingming. Qin Yun said, I obtained the Totem Inscription Spirit from Jingming. Qin Yun guessed that there is a connection between them. Very soon, the Totem Inscription Spirit was condensed by Qin Yun. Sure enough, it is a very cute girl in white dress. It is Lu Jingming. Lu Jingming and Qi Meiyan are very pure girls. Every time Qin Yun sees Xiao Yuelan and the others, he always asks about their situation. They are living very well inside the heaven's divine moon. It can be said that they are carefree, and they often ask about Qin Yun's situation. Qin Yun has not seen Lu Jingming for a very long time. He only knows that Lu Jingming's inscription level is getting higher and higher. Moreover, she specializes in totems. The transformed totem inscription spirit entered the heavenly Tao divine rune image, causing the heavenly Tao divine rune image to suddenly become very strong. In one breath, it smashed open the sacred tribulation gate and entered inside. Qin Yun took another tribulation gate. Now, there are only 2 tribulation gates left, and the sky is about to brighten. The sky is about to brighten. Once the myriad realm's divine sun appears, that bastard will die. Elder Zhao shouted fiercely from outside. His voice also entered Qin Yun's ears. I can handle it. A light suddenly shot out from between Qin Yun's eyebrows and transformed into a sexy elf with voluptuous body and long bare legs. This elf is extremely charming. At the same time, she is also very charming and soul-captivating. Especially her eyes. They could be said to be extremely enchanting. Ling Yun came out. She kissed Qin Yun's face and charmingly giggled. Then she rushed towards the tribulation gate and said with smile, Xiao Yun, I will enter the tribulation gate and figure out the situation. I will tell you what is going on later. This extremely beautiful and charming elf flew over, suddenly released a small black nether sun, and directly entered the tribulation gate. Very smoothly, the tribulation gate burst open. After she entered the tribulation gate, it turned into a golden light and shot towards Qin Yun's forehead. Then it returned to Qin Yun's illusory space. Yuna, Qin Yun yelled in his heart. How are you? I am fine. I only know that the tribulation gate is protecting the Tao image. Other things are still being investigated. Ling Yuner said, no matter how strong the Tao image is, it will still be destroyed. Especially Qin Yun's powerful Tao image. Once it is destroyed, it will be very difficult to cultivate again. Tribulation gate can protect the Tao image. This is a good thing. Only the tribulation gate is left. Qin Yun inhaled a mouthful of air and released the heavenly Tao image. After the heavenly Tao image appeared, Qin Yun's imperial heaven heart started beating even faster. The heavenly Tao image is blue in color. It is square, just like the blue sky from before. It is also similar to imperial heaven heart. Daybreak is coming. I must break open the last tribulation gate before daybreak. Qin Yun released formidable mental power through imperial heaven heart and controlled the heavenly Tao image to charge towards the tribulation gate. Bang! The heavenly Tao image is very strong. Its aura is also very strong when charging, but it is unable to break open the tribulation gate. Is it not strong enough? Qin Yun sensed that if the heavenly Tao image tried to break open the other tribulation gates, it would be very easy. If it is not strong enough, then he can only use Empyrean Inscription Spirit. Qin Yun is also very much looking forward to seeing what the Empyrean Inscription Spirit's condensed form will look like. Not long after, a human silhouette gradually appeared on the Empyrean Inscription Spirit. Qin Yun looked at that very familiar silhouette and immediately realized who it is. It is Siekiru. Qin Yun is extremely shocked in his heart. Siekiru is actually in the form of Empyrean Inscription Spirit. There must be some connection between these two. Qin Yun was very suspicious before. Siekiru is Moon God. She should also be in the form of Moon Lady Inscription Spirit. Xiao Yun, in your subconscious, you must have sensed that Sister Kiru has some kind of connection with heaven. Your subconscious is a combination of your heavenly Tao divine rune, heavenly Tao image, and many other factors. Your intuition is very accurate. Ling Yuner said. Qin Yun inhaled a mouthful of air, suppressed the shock and doubt in his heart, controlled the Empyrean Inscription Spirit to enter the heavenly Tao image. The heavenly Tao image charged towards the tribulation gate and broke through it in a flash. Qin Yun's 10 tribulations gate has been broken through, and now it is inside his body. Chapter 23-24. Qin Yun sensed the saint god power gradually forming in his body. This long-awaited feeling made his body boil. Back then, when he was the Nine-Yang Palace King and the gods, he was at the saint god realm. After so many years of rebirth, he has finally returned to the peak of his past life. In this life, he is much stronger than before. 2 myriad realms divine suns appeared in the sky. Day has arrived, and the intense sunlight seems different from before. The black whirlpool in the sky is still spinning crazily, brewing a new divine sun. The sky was bright, and everyone was tense. With the appearance of the myriad realms divine sun, the 9 heavens divine race can borrow its power to attack Qin Yun's 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. Daybreak has finally arrived. Elder Zhao laughed wildly and waved a golden flag in his hand. As the flag waved, waves of light shot into the sky. It seems like it's sending a message to the myriad realms divine Sunday. The 9-dragon heavenly origin formation is like a huge light barrier, enveloping Qin Yun inside. Outsiders cannot see what is happening inside. Elder Zhao and the rest do not know if Qin Yun broke through the tribulation gates or not, and they do not care. From their point of view, as long as the myriad realms divine sun is active, the 9 heavens divine race is invincible. The 9 heavens divine race and the myriad realms divine sun have a very close relationship. As for what their relationship is, Qin Yun still does not know. He only knows that the 9 heavens divine race can borrow the power of the myriad realms divine sun, and it is the strongest kind. As Elder Zhao waved the flag, the big and small myriad realms divine suns in the sky became even more intense. It is only early morning, but the sunlight is as intense as noon. When it shines on the skin, it feels like it is burning. Did he succeed? Yu Shangyun and the rest are watching from afar and muttered. At this moment, they can also sense a large number of 9 heavens divine demons gathering in the sea. Xinyu Tianlong has already led the Dragon Hall experts and landed very close to the sea surface. At this moment, the Heavenly Law Hall and Magic Institute's people have already set up a formation and are ready to attack the Dragon Hall. Elder Zhao suddenly shouted, "Divine Sun, Heavenly Might, descend." The big and small myriad realms divine sun suddenly shot down 2 intense light beams. As they descended, they combined into a powerful beam of light that contained an extremely frightening amount of divine power as it charged towards the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. When the strong light landed, a violent aura surged out, causing the seawater around the divine sun, celestial island to boil. Then it surged up and down, and waves of golden mist rose up. The divine Yang Sky Island was as hot as an oven. The people on the island couldn't stand the heat and quickly left the island. "Let's retreat," Elder Zhao shouted. They were near the heavenly origin formation of the 9 dragons, and they could feel that the divine power of the myriad world's divine sun was extremely hot. That power seemed to be able to turn the entire land into a pool of fire. Many of the tribe emperors, dukes, kings, 9 heavens demon emperor, and 9 heavens celestial race immediately distanced themselves from the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. If that beam of light were to break through the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation, the resulting explosion of searing heat would definitely be extremely powerful. That was the divine power released by 2 myriad worlds' divine suns. Just as the light was about to land on the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation, the 9 altars that formed the formation suddenly disappeared. After the light barrier that blocked Qin Yun disappeared, Qin Yun appeared in front of everyone. He held a golden token in his hand. That is the Divine Yang token. It was given to Qin Yun by the Divine presiding. He said that if he could break the curse of the 10 images and use the Divine Yang token, it would be of great help. Qin Yun held the Divine Yang token tightly. He can now see that the Divine Yang token is actually a talisman tool. It is a one-time use item. He still doesn't know what it is used for, but after trying out, he can only feel that there is a very powerful divine power inside. The light beam condensed from the divine sun power landed on Qin Yun's body. It did not directly destroy Qin Yun. Instead, it seems like it was injected into his body. Damn it, that is the divine yang token. Divine presiding, that bastard actually gave him such a thing. Elder Zhao's forehead is filled with anger. Veins are bulging on his forehead. He looked at the divine presiding in the distance. His face is twitching. When the divine presiding saw Qin Yun take out the divine yang token, he immediately relaxed and looked at Elder Zhao with a smile. What is the divine yang token? The Chaos Race Emperor also saw that the powerful divine power of the Myriad Realm's divine sun did not injure Qin Yun. Instead, it entered Qin Yun's body, as if it was helping Qin Yun refine his body. As long as you use the divine yang token, you can obtain the help of the Myriad Realm's divine sun to refine your body. The prerequisite is that you have a strong enough body. Otherwise, you won't be able to bear it and can only give up in the end, wasting an opportunity. Elder Zhao held the flag tightly. He is so angry that his eyes are twitching. The Divine Sword Race Emperor summoned his origin divine sword and said, "Let's kill him now." Elder Zhao immediately shouted, "If you are not afraid of death, try it. Do you believe that the Myriad Realm's divine sun will directly attack you with divine yang violent thunder?" The 9 heavens divine race people are gnashing their teeth in jealousy. Not only did Qin Yun break through 10 tribulation gates, he also obtained the help of the Myriad Realm's divine sun to refine his body when he broke through to Sacred God. This was simply a continuous improvement. 9 heavens demon emperor gritted his teeth and said, "This guy's become so strong. Can we deal with him? He only has 1 divine yang token. He can only block it once. Next, I will let the Myriad Realm's divine sun attack a second time." Elder Zhao calmed down and looked at the sky. Large success of heavenly body. When Qin Yun fused with the divine moon bloodline divine source, his heavenly body had already formed. Later, when he stepped into the heavenly god realm, his heavenly body improved greatly. Now that he has become a sacred god, his Tao idol broke through 10 tribulation gates and improved greatly. At the same time, his heavenly body has been tempered once again. Now, coupled with the power of the Myriad Realm's divine sun through the divine yang token, it would be difficult for his heavenly body to not be complete. After the intense light from the Myriad Realm's divine sun disappeared, Qin Yun appeared in front of everyone. He held a blue saber in his hand, wearing a pair of golden-red heaven trampling divine boots and a set of white-blue inscription master robe. "Offerings, I have kept you waiting." A faint smile appeared on Qin Yun's handsome and dignified face. "You are the one who will become the offering." The flag in Elder Zhao's hand suddenly became very large. It covered the sky and danced wildly in the air, releasing intense golden light. Waves of light waves shook the sky. Seeing this scene, everyone cried out in alarm and quickly distanced themselves from Divine Sun Heavenly Island. Looking at this situation, it is clear that Divine Sun Heavenly Island and Divine Sun Peak will not be able to escape today. The Divine Sun Race Great Emperor's expression is very ugly. He can only curse in his heart and watch as Divine Sun Heavenly Island and Divine Sun Peak are about to be destroyed. The 2 myriad realms' divine suns suddenly trembled and let out a whistling sound. 2 valiant divine power rushed out from the 2 divine suns, surging like a flood. It is like a golden flame waterfall pouring down in torrents. Tribulation Gate, open. Qin Yun suddenly released a huge tribulation gate. The sacred tribulation gate is like a majestic mountain floating in the sky. The golden gate opened and let out a loud sound. Black gas surged violently inside the gate. That is the tribulation gate that contains the nether sun. With the tribulation gate protecting the nether sun, Qin Yun is not worried that the nether sun will be damaged or exposed. It is very difficult for others to break through the tribulation gate. Furthermore, the nether sun is hidden very well inside the tribulation gate. No one can see what is inside. The tribulation gate opened, and the nether sun released its devouring power. The divine power from the two myriad realms' divine suns is like a raging river. It was originally going to land on Qin Yun, but now it has been drawn away by the tribulation gate. What? He can actually control those tribulation gates? What exactly happened to this guy? Why is he so scary after breaking 10 devil image curse? Seeing the tribulation gate devouring the divine sun's power, everyone cried out in alarm. Not to mention that Qin Yun can draw over the 10 tribulations gate. He can even take away the tribulation gate and hide the Tao image inside the tribulation gate. Very good. Then you will become the sacrifice. Elder Zhao and other 9 heavens divine race elders took out special large flags and started waving them. The black whirlpool in the sky suddenly shot down a blood-red light beam. It brought along an incomparably powerful heavenly might. This blood-red light beam gives people a very greedy feeling. It seems like it is very satisfied with Qin Yun as the sacrifice. Scram! Qin Yun's eyes flickered with blue light. He held the myriad heaven divine saber in his hand. The imperial heaven heart trembled. Imperial heaven divine power rushed out and poured into the myriad heaven divine saber. Then he hacked at the descending blood-red light beam. Who? Violent wind filled with imperial heaven divine power whistled out along with the divine saber. The saber energy surged violently and collided with the descending blood-red light beam, causing it to scatter. You should be clear who is the sacrifice. Qin Yun furiously rebuked the black whirlpool in the sky. If you dare act recklessly again, I will directly kill you. The huge black whirlpool in the sky suddenly shrunk. It seems like it is afraid. The descending heaven sacrificial divine power was supposed to collect the sacrifice, but it was actually destroyed by a single saber strike. Go! Elder Zhao took out his weapon and shouted in anger. As matters stand, they can only fight against Qin Yun head-on. As soon as Elder Zhao's voice fell, Divine Sword Race Emperor, Primal Chaos Race Emperor, as well as 9 Heavens Demon Emperor immediately rushed towards Qin Yun from several directions. Qin Yun stepped on the void step and arrived in front of Elder Zhao in a flash. His divine saber furiously chopped down, bringing along berserk heaven-splitting power. Other big shots rushed towards Qin Yun. They did not expect that Qin Yun would attack Elder Zhao with even faster speed. Elder Zhao held a large flag in one hand and a long sword in the other. When he sensed danger approaching, he quickly brandished the large flag to form a protective barrier, and then hastily used the long sword to block. Qin Yun's divine saber chopped down. The vibrating power seemed to shake the sky dome. This heaven-shaking style directly shattered the powerful large flag in Elder Zhao's hand like breaking dry weeds and smashing rotten wood. Boom! A loud sound followed. When Elder Zhao's large flag was completely destroyed, the large sword was also chopped into pieces. Elder Zhao's head split open from the vibration. Brain matter flew out. His body exploded. Blood crazily spurted out. He was injured by this saber strike to the point that it was too horrible to look at. You? Elder Zhao screamed mournfully. Just as he was about to say something, his throat was firmly grabbed by Qin Yun. Quietly become the sacrifice. Qin Yun vigorously directly twisted Elder Zhao's head off, and fiercely tore it off. Elder Zhao is a Tao God Realm expert. Moreover, he came from 9 heavens divine race, above myriad realms divine sun. But now his head was twisted off by Qin Yun, who just broke through sacred God Realm. Chapter 23-25. Qin Yun held Elder Zhao's head in his hand. His eyes were filled with power as he scanned the crowd. Wherever he looked, a heavenly might seemed to descend from the heavens, crushing down like a mountain. He swung his saber at Elder Zhao's body, and the violent saber chi tore the immortal realm cultivator's body apart. Everyone who was dumbstruck was also shocked back to their senses by the sound, and could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. The 2 race emperors, 9 heavens demon emperor, and the rest, who were brimming with murderous intent, were now so shocked that they did not dare to move. They had a good understanding of Elder Zhao's strength. If even Elder Zhao could not stop Qin Yun, it meant that Qin Yun was much stronger than Elder Zhao. Nine Heavens Demon Emperor and the rest were also thinking about whether they should fight Qin Yun. At this moment, the Nine Heavens divine beasts hidden under the divine sun, celestial island, all rushed out of the sea. The people of Heavenly Law Hall and Magic Institute also attacked the people of the Mystic Moon Race and Dragon Hall. Elder Zhao's eyes were bloodshot, and his old face was filled with fear. He said angrily, "Qin Yun, I was sent by the Nine Heavens to guard the Nine Desolates. Do you know how strong the Nine Heavens divine race is?" Qin Yun quickly released a suffering divine power and sent it into Elder Zhao's head. Elder Zhao immediately let out a shrill scream. His soul was still present, so the pain he felt now was also from his soul. The people of the Nine Heavens divine race were furious, but they did not dare to make a sound, because their elder's head was still in Qin Yun's hands. So what if it's the Nine Heavens? I, Qin Yun, will slay anyone who dares to make an enemy out of me. Qin Yun, even if it is the heavens themselves. Qin Yun looked at the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor and the two Thearchs. Now, only Nine Heavens Demon Emperor and the two Race Emperors could fight Qin Yun. If the three of them joined forces, as long as Qin Yun did not defeat them one by one, they still had a good chance of winning. Foolish fool, it's fine if you offend the strong races, but if you go against the Nine Heavens, only death awaits you. The Chaos Race Emperor sneered. Don't think that you could defeat us just because you defeated Elder Zhao. Race Emperors were the strongest of the strong races. The Primal Chaos Tribe Thearch and the Divine Sword Tribe Thearch were among the best among the Tribe Thearchs of the strong tribes. Furthermore, there was still the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor. The Nine Heavens Demon Emperor's strength was unfathomable, and he had even defeated Shinyu Tianlong before. Furthermore, behind those two Race Emperors, there were more than 10 kings and more than 30 dukes. They were all top-notch existences within the powerful races. Most of those kings were at the Tao God realm. There were still dozens of people in the Nine Heaven Divine race, and half of them were from the Tao God realm. In other words, those middle-aged and old men. The flags in their hands were all divine weapons refined from the myriad realms' divine sun. At this moment, this group of people surrounded Qin Yun. They had already agreed to join forces to take down Qin Yun. Among the group of people surrounding Qin Yun, the ones who gave off the greatest pressure were the middle-aged and old men from the Nine Heavens divine race. This was because when the flags in their hands were waved, the two myriad worlds' divine suns in the sky would radiate with intense light and send down powerful divine power to them. However, Qin Yun was not afraid at all. He held Elder Zhao's head in his hand, and from time to time, he would inject the power of the suffering divine power, causing Elder Zhao to howl in pain. Not bad. I thought you would run away in fear. You did not run away. Very good. Very good. Qin Yun faintly smiled. The most important thing for a family is to be neat and tidy. You are about to die, yet you are still smiling. The Primal Chaos Race Emperor's deep and cold voice was filled with cold and sinister killing intent. His body began to emit a kind of gray energy. It is the Primal Chaos Divine Sun Power. This kind of Primal Chaos Divine Sun Power is filled with scorching heat. When it's shown on a person's body, they would feel as if their body is about to be ignited. Qin Yun's eyes flickered with blue light. He opened his heavenly eye, condensed primal chaos cold power, and shot out through his eyes. Kill him. Many experts shouted in unison. Their voices shook the sky. Boundless killing intent is as vast as the ocean, like thunder rushing in all directions. The Primal Chaos Race Emperor was the first to rush forward, but just as he arrived, his body was hit by the Primal Chaos cold power that shot out from Qin Yun's eyes. Primal Chaos cold power is a kind of strange cold power that could devour hot energy. The hotter the energy is, the faster it will turn into ice when it touches the Primal Chaos cold power. In just a short while, a layer of frost appeared on the Primal Chaos Race Emperor's body. His speed also became a lot slower. Yu Shangyun saw many experts besieging Qin Yun. She wanted to go help, but she suddenly sensed boundless tribulation power appearing in the sky. Xiao Yuelon promptly sent sound transmission to her, Sister Shangyun, that is Xiao Yun using Nine Sun World Extermination scripture. Don't go over. Not only that, a huge black whirlpool appeared under Qin Yun's feet. It formed a Nether Sun domain. Within the Nether Sun domain, space is distorted. Moreover, there is an incomparably formidable gravity pressing down on everyone's body. Qin Yun summoned heavenly fire, heavenly thunder calamity. Or it is because he entered imperial heaven state that he attracted an extremely formidable tribulation. Although Qin Yun is still in a very ignorant state regarding the imperial heaven state, after he entered the imperial heaven state, he was able to draw upon extremely strong heaven and earth power. Qin Yun is standing on the Nether Sun domain. Tribulation cloud is above his head. Heavenly might is boundless and mighty. The people inside the Nether Sun domain can sense that a formidable tribulation is brewing. They want to escape, but they discover that they are unable to leave the Nether Sun domain. The Nether Sun domain is like a quagmire. Once they are trapped, it will be difficult to escape, unless they possess divine power stronger than Qin Yun's. It's heavenly fire, divine, lightning, tribulation. Elder Zhao shouted in fear. That guy has mastered Nine Sun World Extermination scripture. He has comprehended heavenly fire, divine, lightning, tribulation. Hearing that it is heavenly fire, divine, lightning, tribulation, the clan emperor, Nine Heavens Demon Emperor, and others who were trapped in the Nether Sun domain all revealed expressions of fear. As for the clan emperor, Wang Ju, and other experts of the other powerful races who were watching from the distance, they immediately fled to the top of the Divine Sun Peak. The tribulation cloud above the Divine Sun Peak is like a churning blue wave. This kind of power is like the power of the heavenly universe Divine Sunday. Within the blue tribulation cloud, there is a dense golden red strong light. Following a few furious thunder roars, heavenly fire and heavenly thunder suddenly surged down. The black whirlpool released an incomparably formidable attractive force. The heavenly fire and heavenly thunder became even more ferocious after being drawn down. The experts inside the Nether Sun domain have been submerged by countless heavenly fire and heavenly thunder in a short while. Those violent thunder and flames are like a waterfall falling from the ninth heaven, crazily roaring and wreaking havoc below. Within the Nether Sun domain, the golden red flames and blue heavenly thunder are very dense, like a dense forest of fire and lightning rain, densely packed and covered the entire Divine Sun Heavenly Island. The Divine Sun Peak, the overturned mountain, has now been smashed to pieces by the heavenly fire and heavenly thunder. The entire Divine Sun Heavenly Island has been split into pieces, is crazily collapsing and being submerged by the seawater. The people outside can not only hear the roaring heavenly fire and heavenly thunder, they can also hear the miserable screams of the clan emperor and Wang Ju. What made the Nine Heavens divine demons furious is that the Nine Heavens demon emperor's miserable screams are also incomparably ear-piercing. It can be seen how much pain they are currently enduring. Qin Yun's control over the heavenly fire and heavenly thunder tribulation is very precise. This great calamity only appeared for a moment before gradually dissipating. And the clan emperor, Wang Ju, and other experts inside the Nether Sun domain, all of them are covered with cuts and bruises. The primal chaos race emperor's head is bleeding. His flesh is lacerated. He has been beaten beyond recognition. The Divine Sword Emperor's body is also missing arms and legs. These two clan emperors were taken care of by Qin Yun just now. He controlled enough heavenly fire and heavenly thunder to serve them. The other Wang Ju and dukes are slightly weaker. Although they were not taken care of, after being attacked by the waterfall like heavenly fire and heavenly thunder for a while, their bodies also have several holes, their limbs broken. The experts from the other strong races who did not participate in the battle all felt fear when they saw this scene. If they had gone in, they would not have been much better off. The Divine Yang race's Divine Sun Heavenly Island and Divine Sun Peak have been completely destroyed. But the Divine Yang race did not dare to show the slightest bit of dissatisfaction towards Qin Yun under the Heavenly Fire and Heavenly Thunder tribulation. Only the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor is in the best condition. Although he screamed in pain just now, he has a very strong recovery ability. Coupled with the blue crystal defense, he is now in the best condition. Nine Heavens Demon Emperor, you threatened to destroy my Nine Yang Divine Palace. Is this all you can do? Qin Yun mocked. You don't be arrogant. The Nine Heavens Demon Emperor's elegant gray hair has already become messy. The blue crystal armor on his body can protect his body from being destroyed. The Nine Heavens Demon Emperor is struggling with all his might, trying to escape the Nether Sun domain. Suddenly, he sees a few black sabers flying towards him. Back in the Heaven Law universe, the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor's head was pierced by Qin Yun's black sabers. But now, Qin Yun's black sabers are even stronger. They have the Nether Sun totem inside. They can devour the Tao images of the Nine Heavens divine demons. 10 black sabers pierce through the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor's blue crystal armor and into his body. Using the void traversing step, Qin Yun took a step and appeared in front of the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor. He raised his hand and struck, activating the Heaven Universe Fire Incantation. Blue flames surged out of Qin Yun's palm and landed on the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor's chest. A fire dragon roared and pierced through the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor's chest, creating a huge hole. The Nine Heavens Demon Emperor could not use any strength. After Qin Yun's black sabers pierced into his body, his demonic power was completely sealed. He could not even use his recovery power. At this moment, the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor suddenly understood why Qin Yun was not afraid of the Nine Heavens Demon race. Because Qin Yun's research on the Nine Heavens Demon race was very thorough. He could completely restrain them. Even the powerful divine demons from the Nine Heavens Divine Demon Realm would die against Qin Yun, much less the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor. Because the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor was severely injured, the Nine Heavens Divine Demons lost their cores and became much weaker. Qin Yun released Elder Zhao's head and grabbed the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor's silver hair. With a strong tug, the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor's head was torn off his body. This scene caused everyone to be shocked, and they cried out in alarm. He kept the black sabers and threw the myriad Heaven Divine saber out. It flew around the Nether Sun domain and beheaded the dukes, and the 2 race emperors. At this moment, the Heavenly Tao altar had already arrived below Qin Yun. Qin Yun used his psyche power to control the heads and bodies to land on the Heavenly Tao altar. This time, it was his turn to be sacrificed to the heavens. And at this moment, 2 huge light balls descended from the 2 myriad realms' divine suns. When the light balls dispersed, they were 2 burning ships. Chapter 23-26. 9 Heaven Divine Race and 3 other powerful races experts' heads have already rolled down and landed on the Heavenly Law altar. 9 Heavens Demon Emperor's head is the last to fall. When it landed on the Heavenly Law altar, it let out a despairing scream. Offering sacrifices to the heavens only requires their souls. Seeing this scene, the spectators from afar all sighed incessantly. Originally, they were the ones who initiated the sacrifice to the heavens. They wanted to use the women from the Divine Moon race's 5 ships as sacrifice to the heavens. But now, their heads have been placed on the altar. This sacrifice is rich enough. Qin Yun floated above the Heavenly Law altar and looked at those heads whose faces are filled with fear. Yu Shangyun, Shinyu Tianlong, and the others saw Qin Yun defeat those experts, but they did not relax because 2 huge ships flew out of the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. Clearly, they're the 9 Heavens Divine race that came out of the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. Qin Yun doesn't care about those 9 Heaven Divine race at all. No one can stop him from offering sacrifices to the heavens. He wants to let the Heavenly Universe Divine Sun be born and then take it away. As for what the consequences will be, Qin Yun doesn't care at all, because no matter what the consequences are, he is not afraid at all. This is the confidence of grasping formidable power. We can begin, Tian Daozi said. Qin Yun did not say anything to Tian Daozi before, but he knows that using the heavenly law altar will definitely be able to offer sacrifices to the heavens. He feels that the reason why Tian Daozi brought the heavenly law altar here is also to offer sacrifices to the heavens. Tian Daozi did not ask Qin Yun any further. He did not know why he came, but now he knows. Helping Qin Yun complete the sacrifice to the heavens is the purpose of his trip. Then let's begin. Qin Yun suddenly looked at the two huge flaming ships flying in the sky and gripped the myriad heaven divine saber tightly. If those two ships fly over to block him, he will definitely take action. Divine Judge shouted from the distance. Palace King, those two ships come from the myriad realms divine Sunday. Although those people are from the nine heaven divine race, they are from another faction. On the heavenly law altar, a middle-aged man's head shouted. Even if those people are not from our faction, they will not just watch as we are killed by others because we are all from the nine heaven divine race. Shut up. Qin Yun lightly pointed at the head and attacked. Heaven Extermination Finger Power. Heaven Extermination Finger Power easily pierced through the middle-aged man's head. This caused the other heads to wail in despair. Tian Daozi began offering sacrifices to the heavens. Qin Yun's calm voice spread in all directions, bringing along a kind of boundless heavenly might. Yes, Tian Daozi respectfully replied. The heavenly altar was like a huge mountain. At this moment, this huge altar started to spin slightly. At the same time, the vortex in the sky released a huge red beam of light, slowly descending to the top of the heavenly altar. The sacrifice to the heavens began once again. Unlike before, the offerings this time were the powerful races, the nine heavens demon race and nine heavens god race, and they were the heads of the demon emperors, elders, and demonic emperors. Yu Shangyun watched quietly. She held her sword in her hand and was prepared to attack at any moment. That's because the two ships from the Myriad Realms Divine Sun sect would most likely attack Qin Yun. Wait! Suddenly, a large ship flew over and floated above the heavenly law altar. Someone shouted from inside. The beam of red light was slowly descending and had yet to land on the altar of heaven. If you don't leave, don't blame me for being impolite. Qin Yun tightly gripped the myriad heaven divine saber. His aura surged. Heavenly might rushed towards the ship like a gale. This time, you created the heavenly universe divine sun without the participation of the myriad realms divine Sunday. Even if the heavenly universe divine sun appeared, it would be very weak. A voice came from the ship. We can discuss this matter properly and create a better heavenly universe divine Sunday. Everyone can benefit from it. Then what conditions do you want? Qin Yun said coldly. Let the people on the altar go. You killed the Divine Star Emperor. You can't continue killing. Especially the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor and Nine Heavens God race. The voice from the ship is very grave. When he used the Divine Moon Clan's women to sacrifice to the heavens, why didn't you appear? Qin Yun said with sneer. If they can use the Divine Moon Clan's women to sacrifice to the heavens, why can't I use these guys to sacrifice to the heavens? Qin Yun's words also caused the Divine Moon Clan's women to agree. Even now, their hearts are filled with anger. So many of their sisters almost died. If not for Qin Yun's help, their Divine Moon Clan would have suffered heavy casualties and lost more than half of their dukes and kings. In short, the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor and Nine Heavens God race's people, as well as the two clan emperors, cannot be killed. A very resolute voice came from the ship. Nine Yang Palace King, if you kill them, it will be very difficult for us to protect you in the future. I don't need your protection. Qin Yun is still filled with anger over the fact that you Wulan and Yang Shi, you almost became sacrifices. Why are you so stubborn? You already have so much and your strength is so powerful. Why do you still need the heavenly universe divine sun? The middle-aged man inside the ship is also very helpless. Qin Yun looked at the red beam of light that was about to fall and said coldly, "I'll shout 3 times. If you don't leave, I'll make my move." The ship has no intention of leaving. It has been floating above the heavenly Tao altar. Moreover, the entire ship has released a very strong barrier. With a glance, one can tell that they are not afraid of Qin Yun's attack. At the same time, they want to stop the sacrifice to the heavens. Qin Yun shouted loudly, waved his hand, and shot out a ball of blue light. Seeing Qin Yun take action, everyone immediately opened their eyes wide. They want to see how he will fight against the ship from the myriad realms' divine sun. The ball of blue light that Qin Yun shot out is not his condensed energy. It is the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda. When the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda flew over, it became extremely huge. The huge square pillar brought with it a very strong impact force as it charged towards the huge ship. You actually used the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda to deal with us. The middle-aged man's voice from the ship is very angry. The other ship from the myriad realms' divine sun also hastily flew over because the threat of the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda is clearly very great. Qin Yun looked at the ship flying over and immediately threw out a black object. It is the sun-suppressing divine arrow. The sun-suppressing divine arrow became very big and stabbed towards the ship flying over. Boom! The sun-suppressing divine arrow stabbed into the ship and was blocked by the barrier. However, it also sent the ship flying, and the interior of the ship also received a very strong impact. At the same time, the ship above the heavenly law altar let out a burst of angry roar. Because their ship was ruthlessly attacked by the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda. Although the ship has a very strong barrier protecting it, it still trembled and cracked. After the 9-sun heaven-raising pagoda sent the ship flying, the red light from the black whirlpool in the sky also arrived on the altar. The human heads placed on the altar immediately let out a burst of miserable screams. This kind of heart-wrenching and lung-splitting miserable screams ravaged everyone's ears. Everyone present has never heard such miserable screams that caused them to feel fear. It must be known that the souls inside those human heads are all very powerful and cannot be killed in a short period of time. But now, it is as if they're being burned by flames, causing their souls to suffer incomparable pain. Many experts heard this, and their faces are filled with fear, especially those powerful race's clan emperors who did not participate in the encirclement of Qin Yun. If they participated, their heads might also be placed on the altar. Just thinking about it makes one's heart palpitate with fear. The women of the Divine Moon clan are also very afraid. However, when they thought about their sisters inside the 5 large ships and how they almost suffered this kind of pain, they became very angry. Qin Yun expressionlessly watched. He does not sympathize with those people because they also wanted to sacrifice Yang Shiyu and the others in the same way. Perhaps this is your fate. You are destined to be our enemy. The middle-aged man inside the large ship let out a long sigh. No, this is your fate. You're the ones who want to be my enemy. Qin Yun looked at the black whirlpool in the sky. The heavenly universe divine sun is gradually forming and releasing intense blue light. Elder Zhao, 9 heavens demon emperor, divine sword clan's emperor, primal chaos race's emperor, as well as those dukes and kings, 9 heavens divine races, dozens of people are now being sacrificed to the heavens. Their souls flew away and scattered, completely dead. Yu Shangyun's ice-cold voice came over and shouted, 9 heavens divine race. How do you explain the actions of Elder Zhao and the others? They captured my Divine Moon clan's people to be sacrificed to the heavens, and now they are being sacrificed to the heavens. Isn't this retribution? What she is angry about is that her sisters were almost sacrificed to the heavens, but the 2 large ships did not appear. And now, in order to save the 9 heavens demon emperor and Elder Zhao, these villains, they appeared just in time and almost started a war with Qin Yun. The 2 large ships have experienced Qin Yun's power earlier. so they did not continue to obstruct him. If they were to fight with Qin Yun, it would definitely be a situation where both sides would suffer. Divine Moon Clan, you better behave yourselves in the future. Even if you can enter the divine moon of the heavens and have the help of the Nine Sun Goddess, you will not be able to change your destiny. Your existence has already violated the order of nature. A voice came from the large ship. The birth of the women of the Divine Moon Clan is directly created through some secret method, and they're also very powerful. Existence is reasonable. Since we can exist in this world with this Tao, it means that we are not wrong. Yu Shangyun snorted. She has already sensed that their Divine Moon Clan is being excluded. You are right and wrong. It is not up to you to decide. Take care. I hope that you do not harm the divine moon of the heavens and the innocent people. After the person in the large ship finished speaking, he controlled the damaged large ship and flew away. The other large ship also left. Qin Yun is also secretly pondering over those words. He can feel that the Divine Moon Clan is different. Especially after meeting with Yu Shangyun, he knows that the Divine Moon Clan has a great secret. The black whirlpool in the sky has already turned into a huge blue ball of light, emitting intense blue light. The heavenly universe divine sun has appeared, but it is very, very small. It looks like a relatively bright little star. Originally, during the sacrifice to the heavens, the other 2 myriad realms divine sun needed to participate. This requires the 9 heavens divine race to be able to draw out the power of the 2 myriad realms divine sun-s. Qin Yun is unable to do it, causing the heavenly universe divine sun to become very small after it was born. However, he feels that this is the best because it is easier to store the 9 sun divine spirit. He rushed straight to the sky and approached the heavenly universe divine Sunday. He activated the 9 sun divine spirit with all his strength and stored the heavenly universe divine sun into the 3rd pearl of the 9 sun divine spirit. Chapter 23-27. Everyone knew that Qin Yun had taken away the primal chaos divine sun from the primal chaos race. Now that he had obtained the sky universe divine sun, it meant that he controlled 2 very powerful divine suns. Although the sky universe divine sun and the primal chaos divine sun were smaller, they were still divine suns. No matter how small they were still very powerful. The reason why they felt small was mainly because they were compared to the 2 myriad realms divine suns in the sky. Because the myriad realms divine sun in the sky was meant to illuminate the divine desolate, and the divine sun that Qin Yun obtained could only be used by himself. This way, it was not small at all. Instead, it was very frightening. After Qin Yun obtained the sky universe divine sun, he flew towards the divine presidium and the others. At this moment, the divine sun race, divine sky race, 9 shades race, and 9 sun sky race thearchs brought their kings and flew towards Qin Yun. When Qin Yun saw this group of people, the anger in his heart that had just dissipated suddenly rose again. Holding the myriad heaven divine saber, he slashed at that group of people. The saber aura was like a huge wave, majestically fluctuating in the air. It shocked those few thearchs, and they hurriedly released their powerful divine power to block Qin Yun's powerful divine power. Boom! A loud sound echoed. Qin Yun's divine power collided with the barrier that the few thearchs had released. "What are you doing?" the divine sun race thearch shouted in shock. "What am I doing? It was you guys who almost caused the divine moon race to suffer." As Qin Yun spoke, he slashed out several times. The saber wind was like a wave, its aura shocking the heavens. It brought along surging wild thunder, roaring and churning in the air as it ferociously charged towards the group of powerful race thearchs. Nine Yang Palace King, your 9 Yang Divine Palace and the Divine Moon Race have caused a great disaster, the Divine Sky Race Thearch said in a low voice. "We are just reminding you out of goodwill." Scram! Qin Yun shouted and punched out. A huge fist shadow flew over like a huge mountain. Those few thearchs were shocked. Qin Yun's strength far exceeded their imagination. Only when they directly faced Qin Yun did they realize how powerful he was. They felt that even if they joined hands, they would not have absolute confidence in defeating Qin Yun. Those few thearchs did not continue. They were also worried that they would anger Qin Yun and could only bring their people away. The Divine Yang race had suffered great losses. Their Divine Yang celestial island had already been destroyed, and they were completely silent. In retrospect, they regretted it very much. When Qin Yun saw them leave, he wanted to chase after them, but Yu Shangyun and the Divine Judge came over to stop him. "Palace King, we have more important things to do," the Divine Judge said, and looked at the sky. Another black vortex appeared in the sky. After the black whirlpool appeared, the other two myriad realms' divine sons shot out a very strong beam of light and channeled divine power into the black whirlpool. The heaven cosmic divine sun has been taken away by Qin Yun, but now is the time for the third myriad realm's divine sun to be born. Therefore, the other two myriad realms' divine suns will continue to create the third myriad realm's divine Sunday. The myriad realm's divine sun did not consume much energy to create the myriad realm's divine sun, so it could still be done. The third myriad realm's divine sun will appear in the sky as scheduled. It will be born very soon. Yu Shangyun said. The important thing that the divine preceptor mentioned should be the light that shone down when the third myriad world's divine sun appeared. That kind of light could make the heavenly law war god even stronger. In the hands of the Mystic Moon clan, there were 7 heavenly law war gods, all of whom had been asleep for many years. They wanted to awaken that heavenly law war god. Qin Yun also thought of his Sky Universe Overlord. Now, even if he did not rely on the Sky Universe Overlord, he could still directly defeat a powerful divine demon like the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor. However, Qin Yun still wanted to strengthen the Sky Universe Overlord because the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor said that the divine demon realm might come to the Heavens Divine Desolate. Qin Yun does not understand the situation of the Heavens Divine Desolate. He only knows that this newly born god world is very large, causing the 9 Heavens Divine race and the 9 Heavens Demon race to occupy the Heavens Divine Desolate. Whether the myriad realm's divine sun was created with the help of the 9 Heavens Divine race, or it was born naturally, Qin Yun does not know. Because the birth of a colossus like the myriad realm's divine sun is clearly not something that a single race could create. Qin Yun suspects that the myriad realm's divine sun was born at the right time. However, it was later discovered by the 9 Heavens Divine race, so they participated and followed the growth of the divine sun. Then they thought of a way to control the myriad realm's divine sun. The myriad realm's divine sun was not completely controlled by the 9 Heavens Divine race. Otherwise, Elder Zhao would definitely be able to kill Qin Yun with the power of the myriad realm's divine sun. Such a huge myriad realm's divine sun is definitely very powerful. If it wanted to kill the current Qin Yun, it would definitely not be a problem. Yu Shangyun is wearing black armor and a helmet. Qin Yun can't see her eyes, so he can't understand her current emotions. Xiao Yuelan and Yang Shuriwei are beside Qin Yun. They are thanking Qin Yun, and at the same time, they are also very worried about the situation within Qin Yun's body. They are very worried that after Qin Yun becomes stronger, he will become a different person. Yu Shangyun said before that if Qin Yun breaks the 10 elephant capital devil curse, it is very likely that he will become an evil demon or something. Qin Yun has only become stronger, and his mental state has also changed. Other aspects are the same as before. 2 myriad realms' divine sun poured divine power into the black whirlpool, and soon a myriad realms' divine sun appeared. Although that myriad realms' divine sun is relatively small, it is many times larger than the previous heavenly universe divine sun. If there are 2 myriad realms' divine sun participating in the sacrifice, then the heavenly universe divine sun will also become very large. At this moment, there are 3 myriad realms divine sun in the sky. One is the largest, the other 2 are about the same size, only 1/3 of the largest. When the 3rd myriad realms divine sun appeared, it dropped down an intense divine light beam towards the location of the divine sun peak. The divine sun peak is gone, but the light beams still drop down on that location. Yu Shangyun led a few kings and controlled the large ship to fly over. That light beam is very thick. It enveloped a large area. The ancient coffins on the Divine Moon Clan's 7 large ships opened. The multicolored light of myriad realms' divine sun shone on the heavenly law war gods inside the ancient coffins. The blue crystals on the bodies of those huge heavenly law war gods are releasing intense blue light. With a glance, one can tell that they are gradually awakening. After awakening, Divine Moon Clan can control those heavenly law war gods. And at this moment, Qin Yun also released his heavenly universe overlord. His heavenly universe overlord became very small, so small that it is only the size of a fairy. It is placed on Qin Yun's palm and is being tempered by the myriad realms' divine sun's divine light. What people find inconceivable is that Dragon Hall's people and dragons are also being tempered by the divine light. Xinyu Heavenly Dragon closed his eyes and cultivated under the divine light, crazily absorbing the energy. Divine Judge entered the light beam and took out his myriad heaven's divine punishment flag. His face is filled with pleasant surprise as he accepted the energy bestowed by the divine sun. Xia Wufeng and Yun Long obtained the heavenly law inheritance and can now absorb the divine power of the divine light. Qin Yun tried to absorb it and discovered that the divine light has no effect on him. Maybe it is because he is too strong. Heavenly Law Hall and Devil Academy's people ran away long ago. They also suffered heavy casualties. Now, they're looking at the location where the divine light fell from a distance and are extremely envious. The other powerful races' people are also looking from a distance with incomparably envious eyes. They want to go over, but they are worried that they will clash with Qin Yun and company. The Heavenly Law altar has always been within the range of the divine light. Qin Yun landed on the Heavenly Law altar and looked at the old baldy. He finds it somewhat funny. This Heavenly Dao Zi is Shimen Dazhuang's master, but now he has become like this. Heavenly Dao Zi, after your rebirth, didn't you cultivate a good body? Qin Yun said with smile. Tian Dao Zi looked at the heavenly universe overlord in Qin Yun's hand and realized that it is a very dreadful thing. He is secretly apprehensive and said with smile, I feel that my current body is very good. There is no hair on it. It is very comfortable. Qin Yun is somewhat speechless. He shook his head and smiled. You are Dazhuang's master. Have you ever thought of him as your disciple? I don't. I hate that pig beside him. Tian Dao Zi has been smelled by Pippy Pig's smelly fart. Just thinking about it makes him feel very uncomfortable. Qin Yun involuntarily laughed and said, Didn't you say that I am the enemy of Heavenly Dao? But now it seems like you are helping me. You are helping me, the enemy of Heavenly Dao, to resist Heavenly Dao? Maybe Heavenly Dao is invincible in loneliness. Having you, the enemy of Heavenly Dao, to resist Heavenly Dao is also a kind of pleasure for Heavenly Dao? Tian Dao Zi looked at the majestic and imposing myriad world divine sun and said again, Maybe Heavenly Dao is too lonely, so is fighting against itself. Or maybe it is creating an enemy to resist it to pass time. Oh, Qin Yun also looked at the myriad world divine sun. His heart is filled with countless thoughts. He has always been filled with doubt regarding his own existence. This made him think of Heavenly Eye. Heavenly Dao's Heavenly Eye was actually fused with by him. This is already a strange matter. Moreover, now he also has Imperial Heaven Heart. Finally, he touched the 9-pearl bracelet on his wrist. This 9-sun divine spirit is also very mysterious. Imperial Heaven Heart is sealed inside. He suspects that Imperial Heaven Heart most likely came from the Heavenly Dao pawn shop. Is Heavenly Dao truly dead? Qin Yun asked. Heavenly Dao is immortal. Heavenly Dao has no such thing as life and death. Death is life. Life is death. Life and death are the same. Tian Dao Zi started talking nonsense again. When will Heavenly Dao be reborn? Qin Yun seems to be used to it and asked. Tian Dao Z shook his head. Maybe Heavenly Dao is in the process of rebirth and growing up. Qin Yin opened his heavenly eye. His eyes flickered with blue light. He looked at the sky and said again, "Where are the 9 heavens? Is there also Heavenly Dao in the 9 heavens?" "No, Heavenly Dao only appears here. There is no Heavenly Dao in the 9 heavens, so it is very chaotic. It is no different from hell." Tian Dao Zi said, "If you go there, you might find it." Qin Yin looked at Yu Shangyun, who is not far away. He knows that this divine moon clan's empress is very knowledgeable about the matters above the 9 heavens. Moreover, Xiao Yuemei and the other 9 sun divine maidens also know about the matters above the 9 heavens. Palace King, myriad heavens divine desolate will find it hard to find peace from now on. Tian Dao Zi said with sigh, 9 heavens will not let myriad heavens divine desolate off. Chapter 23-28. After Qin Yin broke through, he became so powerful that he could completely crush those clan emperors. Therefore, he is very disdainful towards the mysterious 9 heavens. He knew that there must be very strong beings above the 9 heavens. Not to mention the 9 heavens, even the god desolate heavens had many hidden powerful existences. It was just that he had not met them yet. We don't know if the 9 heavens are strong or not, but the deity desolate will definitely attract their attention. They will definitely know what you did there. Tian Dao Zi looked at the sky and said, "There are a total of 9 myriad realms divine suns. Every time a myriad realms divine sun appears, it will cause a great commotion, a huge storm. When will the next myriad realms divine sun appear?" asked Qin Yin. "I don't know, but it should be soon." Tian Dao Zi shook his head. "The next time the myriad realms divine sun appears, it might be the time for the 9 heavens to make a big move." Qin Yin looked at the divine moon clan ships. Xiao Yuelan and Yang Shirui are there. They are the 9 suns divine maidens. Now that the 3rd myriad realms divine sun has appeared, they have benefited greatly. Yu Shangyun flew over and slowly landed on the heavenly law altar. She looked at Tian Dao Zi and then said to Qin Yin, "I want to talk to you alone." Qin Yin took out the Heaven Leaping Shuttle and entered the main control room of the Heaven Leaping Shuttle with her. He also wanted to talk to Yu Shangyun alone, but he was worried that Yu Shangyun would refuse. "Didn't you say that you don't want to see me again? Moreover, you don't allow me to appear in front of you," Qin Yin said with a smile. "I am very surprised that you came to find me. You saved so many of my sisters. No matter what, I have to thank you." Yu Shangyun did not take off her helmet. Her voice was still as cold and imposing as ever. "You're welcome. I also want to thank you. If it wasn't for your help, I wouldn't have been able to break the curse so quickly." Qin Yin faintly smiled. "We can be considered helping each other." Yu Shangyun coldly snorted. "I only helped you because I had no other choice. You must forget about it and don't have any illusions. I'm done with you. After we're done talking, you have to fulfill your promise. Don't mention that to anyone, and don't appear in front of me." Yu Shangyun was extremely sensitive to that matter and reminded Qin Yin with a heavy tone. However, after she said those words, she suddenly felt that it was inappropriate to treat someone who had saved her sister in such a manner. She added, "You've saved so many of my sisters this time. I'll repay you in another way. There's no need. Big sister Yang and my second sister Yuelan are both very important to me. It's only natural for me to save them." Qin Yin said, "I won't let you down. Shuriwei and Wulan are both from my divine moon clan. They are your women. That is your business. They're my sisters. Since you saved them, I can't owe you anything." Yu Shangyun is very stubborn about this kind of matter. She really doesn't want to owe Qin Yin anything. Qin Yin also knew that Yu Shangyun wanted to clearly separate herself from him. Only then would she be able to sever everything. "You don't need to give me anything. Just answer a few of my questions." Qin Yin doesn't lack anything right now. "What do you want to ask? Is it about the Divine Moon Clan?" Yu Shangyun asked. "Guanghan Palace has a close relationship with the Divine Moon Clan. I must know what kind of crisis the Divine Moon clan is facing. Qin Yun nodded and said, I came to you to tell you about this. So, I will definitely give you a gift of thanks. Yu Shangyun was still conflicted over this matter. All right. Qin Yun sighed softly and asked, Previously, the person inside the two ships from the Nine Heavens divine race said that your Divine Moon clan is in a very bad situation. What's going on? The strong clans of the Divine Wasteland all come from the Nine Heavens, and our Divine Moon clan is no exception. The Divine Moon clan comes from the Heavenly Moon Divine Realm. Yu Shangyun said. Xiao Yueme had previously said that she was the Heavenly Moon Divine Concubine of the Heavenly Moon Snow Palace in the Heavenly Moon Divine Realm. At that time, Qin Yun thought that she was talking nonsense. He never expected that it was true. Are the Heavenly Moon God Realm and the Divine Moon Clan the same? They're all women? Asked Qin Yun. No, there are all kinds of people in the Heavenly Moon God Realm. The race I'm in is a little special. We have a secret technique that allows us to create powerful humans using moonstones. The ones we create are all women. Later on, more than half of our clan was exterminated, and they were all used as sacrifices to the heavens, regarded as the best sacrifices. Yu Shangyun said while gnashing her teeth. Qin Yun could feel her grief and indignation. She called her clansmen sisters, and they could be said to be family. I heard from Hua Shui that you all use a mysterious moonstone to absorb the divine power of the moon. After the moonstone is broken, there are people inside. Then, you can nurture them and grow them. Qin Yun said. She never told me about this sacrifice. Not many people know about this. Currently, in the Divine Moon clan, only I and a few dukes know about it. Hua Shui and the others don't know about it. Even the Nine-Sun Goddess. Only Yuro knows about it. Yu Shangyun said. What happened after that? Did you come here from the Heavenly Moon Divine Realm? Qin Yun asked. Above the Nine Heavens is very chaotic, similar to hell. There is no order to speak of. There are too many experts there. Even if we have the strength, we can't defend against their siege. In the end, we can only cross space and come to this evolved divine realm. Yu Shangyun said. Then what does Mother Moon have to do with you? Qin Yun asked. Mother Moon has a spirit body and can communicate with people. We know very little about Mother Moon. We only know that she helped us a lot. It was she who allowed us to establish ourselves in this divine realm. Unfortunately, she is no longer here. Yu Shangyun, who has always been overbearing when talking about Mother Moon, her tone was filled with sorrow and melancholy. Why are you the best sacrifices? Qin Yun said with a frown. Logically speaking, as long as it is a living being, it can become a sacrifice. Killing living beings and letting them return to the heavens is equivalent to offering them to the heavens. Yu Shangyun said, That's because the way we were born is different. It goes against nature. Normal reproduction requires the union of male and female, and it starts growing from the fetus. We are not. We all came out from the moonstone. The moment we came out, we were all teenage girls, and we were very powerful. Although this kind of birth method is rare, it's not like it doesn't exist. As far as I know, those heavenly beings of the heavenly law, divine realm, also use this kind of method. Qin Yun said, Furthermore, there are some demon and beast species that seem to be the same. We are humans, normal humans. Yu Shangyun said, Those things can't compare to us, so using us as sacrifices to the heavens is the best. Qin Yun now knows what the Divine Moon Race's crisis is. They're the best sacrifices, and sacrifices to the heavens are very popular in the Nine Heavens. If the Nine Heavens Divine Race and the Nine Heavens Demon Race join hands, through the sacrifice to the heavens, they can create a heavenly universe, Divine Sun. If the Nine Heavens Divine Race and the Nine Heavens Demon Race really needed a large-scale sacrifice to the heavens, they would definitely target the Divine Moon Race. Then what's the relationship between you and Sister Kiru? Qin Yun is very curious about this because Yu Shangyun looks very similar to that mysterious Sister Kiru. You can ask her about this. I won't talk about her. Yu Shangyun said, All right, then have you heard about the matter of Heavenly Moon Snow Palace and heavenly moon divine concubine? Qin Yun asked again. In the heavenly moon divine realm, the heavenly moon snow palace origin was built by our clan's heavenly moon divine concubine. Heavenly moon divine concubine was very powerful, an expert above the 9 heavens. Later on, her whereabouts were unknown. Yu Shangyun said, "Why are you asking this?" "And nothing." Qin Yun is startled. He never expected that Xiao Yuemei's previous nonsense would actually be true. Of course, he is still not sure whether Xiao Yuemei is that heavenly moon divine concubine or not. He suddenly felt that this big sister of 9 sun divine maiden is not simple at all. Yu Shangyun said, "Your 9 yang divine palace must be careful. If someone from the 9 heavens comes, they will definitely attack your 9 yang divine palace first. If necessary, our divine moon race will help." "Many thanks," Qin Yun said. "If you take back the heavenly universe divine sun, how much power will it bring you? Isn't it hard to control heavenly universe divine sun?" Yu Shangyun is also very curious about this. "I don't know for the time being. I need to study it," Qin Yun said. "Remember, don't mention the matter of me helping you fuse with the divine moon bloodline, divine source to anyone. If you leak it out, I won't forgive you." Yu Shangyun's voice is filled with threat as she coldly snorted. "About this, Yuelon and the others will definitely be able to guess it." Qin Yun smiled awkwardly. "Although Yuelon is my wife, I will definitely not tell her, but she can guess it. I can't do anything about it. Then tell her that I used other methods to help you fuse with the divine moon bloodline, divine source. Nothing happened between us. You could just tell her that." Yu Shangyun also came into contact with Xiao Yuelon. Feng Yu and Yang Shi use ambiguous gazes. She felt somewhat irritated in her heart. "And I will do as you say." Qin Yun nodded and said, "This, divine moon race's emperor, can I ask you one more thing?" "Speak," Yu Shangyun said coldly. "Why? What method did you use to help me fuse with the divine moon bloodline, divine origin?" Qin Yun had always been puzzled. "I don't know. When I accepted the inheritance of the divine moon race's the arch, I learned that my only man would possess the divine moon bloodline." After Yu Shangyun finished speaking, she said coldly, "Don't misunderstand. I did not treat you as my man. As I said before, that situation was very special, so I had no choice but to do it. Sacrifice. I didn't misunderstand. I also didn't dare to think too much." Qin Yun spread open his palm and condensed a blue moon. He said, "This is for you. This is..." Yu Shangyun looked at the small blue moon and felt a very strong power of the universe. "This is heavenly universe divine moon spirit." Qin Yun laughed and said, "This is for you." "What do you mean? I don't want it." Yu Shangyun decisively refused. She believed that this was a gift from Qin Yun. "This moon spirit is fused with rare moon totem and nether moon totem. It will be very useful to you." Qin Yun said again, "Oomph. Do you think this moon spirit can please me?" "Stop dreaming." Yu Shangyun snorted, took out a soul-sealing pearl, and received the moon spirit. She left the heaven-leaping shuttle. Before she left, she told Qin Yun that she would send someone to give him a gift of thanks. As for what it was, she did not say. When Qin Yun came out of the heaven-leaping shuttle, Tian Daozi saw his melancholy expression and asked, "Is there something bothering you? Is it an emotional problem?" Chapter 23-29. Qin Yun looked at Tian Daozi with a stunned expression. After being stunned for a while, he said, "Tian Daozi, you really cut it off? How courageous! What's so difficult about that? I cut it easily. Do you want me to help you? After cutting it off, you won't have any emotional troubles," Tian Daozi said with a smile. "No need." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "What do you think I cut?" Tian Daozi snorted. "Didn't you castrate yourself?" Qin Yun looked at Tian Daozi with a strange expression. "What are you thinking? I'm talking about cutting off lust from the soul." Tian Daozi said, "I am very good at this. I will help the Zhuang cut it off." "What? You helped him sever his lust?" Qin Yun silently mourned for Shimen Da Zhuang for 3 seconds. Only by purifying one's heart and restraining one's desires can one succeed in cultivation. Tian Daozi sighed. It's a pity that De Zhuang's comprehension is too low. Even cutting him off would be useless. The corners of Qin Yun's mouth twitched as he said with a dry laugh, "Can it still be reconnected? Without experiencing emotions, one's life is incomplete." Tian Daozi waved his hand and said, "Those are all fleeting clouds. De Zhuang himself is a person with extremely low desires." "Tian Daozi, I want to ask you something," Qin Yun suddenly very earnestly said. "Have you heard of Empyrean inscription spirit?" "Of course I've heard of it. Why you ask? Don't you have one?" Tian Daozi said. You know that I have Empyrean inscription spirit?" Qin Yun is very shocked. He said in a deep voice, "Don't talk nonsense about this. When you released it, I could sense it. Speaking of which, I am very surprised that you possess the Empyrean inscription spirit. That is even more powerful than Yang Emperor inscription spirit. Moreover, you can even make Empyrean inscription spirit take human form." Tian Daozi said. "Why are you surprised that I have Empyrean inscription spirit?" Qin Yun asked again. "Because only the heavenly Tao possesses Empyrean inscription spirit. It is impossible for a human to have it." Tian Daozi sighed and said, "The fact that you can have it means that there are many problems." Qin Yun was at a loss as he looked into the distance. His eyes were filled with confusion as he muttered, "Could it be that I really have some entanglement with the heavenly Tao?" Tian Daozi patted Qin Yun's shoulder and said, "Don't think too much. Things change with each passing day. Perhaps this is the result of your 9 lifetimes of cultivation." Qin Yun was puzzled as he said, "The results of my cultivation? I've mastered the heavenly Tao." Tao, child of heaven, shook his head and said, "The Tao you cultivate might be to become the heavens. So this is the heavenly Tao? It's also possible that the heavenly Tao is just a Tao that anyone can cultivate. It's just that one has to work very hard." When my Empyrean inscription spirit took human form, the person who appeared was Sister Kiru. She's also Xian Kiru from back then. Back when I was a mortal King Fu Yun, you saw her. Why did I take human form through Empyrean inscription spirit? Qin Yun asked. Tian Daozi pondered for a moment and said, "This is very normal." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "How is it normal?" When Empyrean inscription spirit took human form, it transformed into her appearance. This is very abnormal, all right. How did Sister Kiru get involved with the heavenly Tao? Tian Daozi did not reply. Qin Yun calmly looked at him, waiting for his reply. Tian Daozi closed his eyes. Qin Yun also patiently waited. After a while, Qin Yun urged, "Tian Daozi, how is it normal? Why don't you tell me?" "I can't say." Tian Daozi opened his eyes and grinned. "I only know that this is very normal." Qin Yun angrily slapped his bald head and said in a bad mood, "Next time I get the chance, I will make Pippi Pig release a few smelly farts at you. Goodbye." Tian Daozi suddenly kicked Qin Yun and sent him flying out of the heavenly Tao altar. Hua hua hua. That huge heavenly Tao altar suddenly flew out of the sea and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Qin Yun can feel Tian Daozi's fear towards Pippi Pig. It ran very fast. This wretched swindler, he truly has some skill. His kick was so painful. Qin Yun rubbed his butt and cursed Tian Daozi in low voice. Divine Judge's Myriad Heaven's divine punishment flag has also been refined by Myriad Realm's divine sun and became a lot stronger. After he flew to Qin Yun, he asked, "Why did the heavenly Tao altar run away?" "It was scared away." Qin Yun waved his hand and said with smile, "Divine Judge, thank you very much for your help." "What are you thanking me for?" "I didn't even help much." Divine Judge is very remorseful. He sighed and said, "I, the Divine Judge of Myriad Realm's divine court, am truly useless. I feel like I am just a decoration." Qin Yun said, "Will the people from the 9 heavens divine race continue to help the Myriad Realm's divine palace?" 9 heaven divine race is not the only one helping Myriad Realm's divine court. Myriad Realm's divine sun is also participating. It's just that due to some reasons, their participation is not that great. Divine Judge said. After the matter with Thunder God, Divine Judge also knew that the gods in Myriad Realms' divine court need to be strictly examined. When necessary, those gods have to listen to him, the Divine Judge's orders. Myriad Realms' divine sun also has its own consciousness, right? If that's the case, then it couldn't be better. Qin Yun is very worried that Myriad Realms' divine sun will be controlled by Nine Heaven divine race in the end. Myriad Realms' divine sun has its own consciousness, but right now it is very unstable. Nine Heaven divine race can provide protection, and sometimes they will pass on Myriad Realms' divine sun's words. Divine Judge said, after this matter, Myriad Realms' divine sun might have some changes. Myriad Realms' divine sun is not willing to talk to me. Qin Yun let out a long sigh. Why is that? Next time I talk to Myriad Realms' divine sun, I will try my best to help you understand. Divine Judge said with smile. All right. Qin Yun nodded and said, I have taken back the God of Love God's position. If you have a suitable candidate, send them to Nine Yang Divine Palace, and I will pass on the position. Don't worry, the gods of Myriad Realms' divine court will gradually grow up in the future. After they have God position, along with the support of Myriad Realms' divine sun, they will become even stronger. Divine Judge said, the God position that Qin Yun passed on is not primordial God position. He has kept the most primordial God position. Of course, the God position he passed on will not have any effect. Others won't be able to discover it. Divine Moon Race's large ships all returned to Divine Moon. Qin Yun also went to Shun Yu Tianlong, Xia Wufeng, and others to chat for a while, and then left. Qin Yun originally planned to pull Shin Yu Tianlong and Long Tang into Nine Yang Divine Palace, but Shin Yu Tianlong said that he would bring Long Tang around to encircle and kill Nine Heavens divine demons. Although Nine Heavens Demon Emperor is dead and Nine Heavens Demon Race's Demon Dukes and Demon Generals have been exterminated, there are still many small demons. Shin Yu Tianlong hates Nine Heavens divine demons to the bone. Therefore, exterminating Nine Heavens divine demons has become his next priority. Qin Yun found out that Shun Yu Tianlong wants to exterminate Nine Heavens divine demons and is very impressed. He immediately helped Long Tang and his people carve all kinds of heavenly law divine runes on their weapons. He made several hundred divine tools in a row. It didn't take long, and this is enough for Long Tang. Seeing Qin Yun carve heavenly law divine runes so easily, Dragon Hall's inscription masters are filled with admiration. They also exchanged some information with Qin Yun. Shin Yu Tianlong also promised Qin Yun that he will send people to Nine Yang Divine Palace to maintain contact. Shin Yu Tianlong, Ice Dragon is in Nine Yang Divine Palace. He always admires you. I think he will definitely follow you. How about this? My Nine Yang Divine Palace will also send people to follow you to kill demons. Qin Yun said, all right, I can be at ease with your Nine Yang Divine Palace's people. If it is Brother Ice Dragon leading the team, nothing could be better. Shin Yu Tianlong is also very welcoming. Qin Yun is planning to do so. His Nine Yang Divine Palace has many people who need to go through this training. If they follow Shun Yu Tianlong's Dragon Hall, they will be able to learn many things, and their safety will also be guaranteed. All right, it's settled, Qin Yun said with smile. Qin Yun left behind Shun Yu Tianlong's soul-chasing talisman, and then bid farewell to Shin Yu Tianlong and others. Xia Wufeng and Divine Chief also returned to Myriad Realms' Divine Palace. They still have other things to do. Yang Shuriwei and Xiao Yuelon did not return to Myriad Heaven's Divine Moon. Instead, they followed Qin Yun inside the Heaven Leaping Shuttle to return to Nine Yang Divine Palace. Just as Qin Yun and others left, the clan emperors of other powerful races brought their kings to the light beam of Myriad Realms' Divine Sunday. They wanted to shine the light beam, but Qin Yun and others were there before, so they didn't dare to approach. The nameless old man followed their Nine Yang heavenly race to the light beam. He had helped Qin Yun obtain the Primal Chaos Divine Sun and obtain the Divine Universe Goldstone from Qin Yun. Divine Heaven Race's Emperor, I heard your Heavenly Sword King Duke's subordinate Marquis Chong Hao is still in Nanyang Divine Palace. If Marquis Chong Hao continues to stay in Nanyang Divine Palace, he might die, the Nanyang Heavenly Race's Emperor said. I know, Marquis Chong Hao has many genius sword cultivators under him. Shen Ruoming is a rare genius, the Divine Heaven Race's Emperor said. That Nanyang Palace King wants 100 Divine Universe golden stones. Then what do you plan to do? The Emperor asked. Of course I will give it to him. I will also take this opportunity to have a good talk with him. The current Nanyang Palace King is qualified to be on equal footing with us, the Divine Heaven Race's Emperor said. The nameless old man mocked these clan emperors in his heart. In his eyes, Qin Yun could challenge these clan emperors alone. Yet the Divine Heaven Race's Emperor said that Qin Yun could only be on equal footing with them. He still didn't acknowledge Qin Yun's strength and status. Nanyang Palace is facing a calamity, and the Divine Moon Race is also facing a calamity. The Heaven Demon God Race's Emperor said, we shouldn't participate too much in this matter. We should just wait patiently for the 9 myriad realms' divine sons to appear in the Divine Desolate. The Divine Yang Race's Emperor said, no matter what, we made a mistake this time. We all thought that the Divine Moon Race would not be able to escape this calamity, so we gave up on them. But things are not like that. There are many things that we cannot predict. The nameless old man nodded in his heart. He also thought so. The Primal Chaos Race, the Divine Star Race, and the Divine Sword Race. These 3 races no longer have their clan emperors. Their kings and dukes have also suffered heavy casualties. The Divine Heaven Race's Emperor said, these 3 races can be said to be finished. This is a good thing. In the future, these 3 groups of hoodlums will not have to compete with us for resources. The Heaven Demon Race's Emperor said with a smile. Chapter 23:30. The voice that came from a ship that came down from the myriad realms' divine sun belonged to the middle-aged man from before. He was also the one who wanted to stop Qin Yun's heaven worship, but was later beaten away by Qin Yun. The other powerful clans are displeased to be mocked by the middle-aged man from the 9 Heavens Divine Clan. Don't laugh at us. Your 9 Heavens Divine Race isn't any better. The Divine Yang Race Tharch said, you are the same as us. You can't do anything to that Palace King Nanyang. To be honest, 9 Heaven Divine Race, we are quite disappointed in you. The Divine Sky Tribe Darch snorted. If you hadn't been so thoughtless, this wouldn't have happened. The Divine Yang Race had suffered the greatest losses. Their old nest had been destroyed. The Divine Yang Celestial Island and Divine Yang Peak, which were very important to the Divine Yang Race, had been destroyed in the previous battle. Even if our 9 Heaven Divine Race can't do anything to that Nanyang Palace King, we are still stronger than you. This is a fact. A middle-aged man in golden armor flew out of the ship and said with a hearty smile, everyone, I'm not here to discourage you. There were several factions in the 9 Heavens Divine Clan within the Myriad World's Divine Sunday previously. Elder Zhao's faction had already been wiped out, and these few clan emperors were previously working with Elder Zhao. Hence, the few race emperors were not familiar with the middle-aged man in front of them. Other than that, because Elder Zhao and the others were defeated so badly, it caused the other race emperors to not trust the 9 Heavens Divine Race too much. Then why are you here? The Heaven Devil Race's Emperor asked. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the king of the 9 Heavens Celestial Tribe, Jiang Jiuchuan. I am the strongest among the 9 Heavens Celestial Race in the gods desolate. Jiang Jiuchuan had a square face and appeared to be a straightforward man. There was a smile on his face, and there wasn't any hostility in his eyes. Then why would you allow Elder Zhao to do such a thing? The Divine Yang Race Tharch asked. Logically speaking, you should have a strength to stop Elder Zhao and us from performing the ceremony. Could it be that you also think that the Divine Moon Race should be sacrificed? Jiang Jiuchuan said, Elder Zhao and the others plan to ally with the 9 Heavens Demon Emperor and then recruit you to create the Celestial Sun together. However, I don't think it's that simple, so I didn't participate. We will not participate, nor will we stop them. What about the Divine Moon Clan? By not stopping Elder Zhao and the others, you have angered the Divine Moon Clan. Heavenly Devil Race Emperor said, those women are not to be trifled with. We will be hated by them. Jiang Zhuchuan sighed. We are also powerless to help the Divine Moon Clan. Within my 9 Heavens Divine Clan, there aren't many people who support me helping the Divine Moon Clan because they all feel that when we need to offer sacrifices to the heavens in the future, we have to find the Divine Moon Clan to be the sacrifice. After this, would they still dare to do it? In any case, we don't even dare to think about it. Nine Shades shook his head. I don't know about them. In any case, I will never look for them. However, it's hard to say for the others, Jiang Zhuchuan said. Jiang Zhuchuan, why have you come looking for us? The Divine Sky Clan's Emperor asked. Everyone, do you still want to become stronger? You should know the strength of that Palace King, Jiuyang. If you join hands now, you might be able to suppress him. However, that might not be the case in the future. Jiang Zhuchuan said, are you trying to instigate us to fight Hall King Nine Yang? We won't do such a stupid thing. Nine Shades Race's Emperor snorted. That's not what I mean. I just want to tell everyone that if you continue to stagnate, the gap between you and Hall King Nine Yang will only get bigger and bigger. Jiang Zhuchuan smiled faintly and said, you might not believe me, but if I fight Hall King Nine Yang with my full strength, he won't even be a match for me. I can also brag. The Divine Yang Race's Emperor laughed coldly. Jiang Zhuchuan's smile suddenly disappeared and became extremely serious. His tall and sturdy body trembled slightly as a powerful divine power surged out and shook off all the surrounding tribe emperors and dukes. When those tribe emperors and dukes were hit by the powerful divine power, they immediately felt dizzy and their hearts were filled with fear. As the powerful divine power attacked their bodies, it was also accompanied by a powerful mental power that attacked their souls. Everyone, I have offended you just now. Please forgive me. I just wanted to prove my strength. Jiang Zhuchuan smiled brightly as he cupped his hands and apologized to everyone around him. After feeling Jiang Zhuchuan's powerful divine power, even though those tribe emperors had been hit by the powerful divine power, their expressions became much more relaxed. In front of such powerful strength, these tribe emperors and dukes could only lower their heads. Brother Jiang, you came to find us because you want us to join forces with you to fight against Hall King Nine Yang? The Divine Yang Race's Emperor asked. This was also what the other tribe emperors wanted to ask. Although I am powerful, I don't dare to fight against Hall King Nine Yang. When that guy goes crazy, I am still very afraid of him. Jiang Zhuchuan laughed and said, I want everyone to join my 9 Heavens Divine Race. All of your powerful races originate from above the 9 Heavens and can be considered 9 Heavens Divine Race. Why don't you take this opportunity to return to the 9 Heavens Divine Race? These powerful races' overall strength was still very strong. Jiang Zhuchuan came to rope them in so that his overall strength would be even stronger. This way, he would be able to fight against the other factions of the 9 Heavens Divine Race. Right now, there are 3 myriad realms Divine Sun in the sky. The largest myriad realms Divine Sun belongs to all the members of the 9 Heavens Divine Race. The second myriad realms Divine Sun belongs to me, Jiang Zhuchuan said. The third myriad realms Divine Sun is still empty. I want to give it to you. The few tribe emperors were very surprised. They looked at each other in dismay and didn't dare to believe it. All of you should return to the 9 Heavens Divine Race and be loyal to me. Then, we will work together to fight for the third myriad realms Divine Sun territory. Currently, I am fighting with the other 2 factions. If all of you help me, I will be able to suppress them, Jiang Zhuchuan said. Entering the myriad realms Divine Sun was the dream of all the powerful races. Brother Jiang, you really have a good plan? You purposely let Elder Zhao and the 9 Heavens Demon Race join forces and wait for them to perish before fighting for the third myriad realms Divine Sun. The Divine Sky Race's Emperor narrowed his eyes and laughed. I don't have any plan. My plan is to wait and see. Elder Zhao is a big faction, but now it is finished. Elder Zhao originally wanted a rope in all of you in the Nine Heavens demon race. Fortunately, all of you didn't follow him to his death. Jiang Jiuquan left. The Primal Chaos race, the Divine Sword race, and the Divine Star race had all died because they followed Elder Zhao. As long as they followed Jiang Jiuquan, they would be able to live in the Third Myriad Realm's Divine Sunday. Such a huge temptation, it was impossible for those tribe emperors not to be moved. Although they couldn't obtain the Sky Universe Divine Sun, being able to enter a Myriad Realm's Divine Sun was also not bad. Those tribe emperors also knew that Jiang Jiuquan still hadn't fought for the Third Myriad Realm's Divine Sunday. He needed their help, which meant that they would have to participate in the battle in the future. The Divine Sky race is willing to return to the Nine Heavens race. However, Brother Jiang has to guarantee our future benefits. The Divine Sky race's emperor said. The other tribe emperors also expressed their willingness to join. However, they had to sign soul contracts to avoid being tricked. Jiang Jiuquan was also very easy to negotiate. He immediately agreed and signed soul contracts with those tribe emperors. In the future, you can also call yourselves tribe emperors. I don't mind. Jiang Jiuquan laughed. Titles are all fake. After we obtain the Third Myriad Realm's Divine Sun, we will give you new titles. The Divine Yang race's emperor laughed. All right, I will first arrange for people to bring you into the largest Myriad Realm's Divine Sun, which is the Ancestor Divine Sun. As for me, I will go and look for the Nine Yang Palace King and the Divine Moon race's emperor to discuss this. Jiang Jiuquan said. Brother Jiang, what do you want to discuss with them? The Divine Yang race's emperor asked. They are all very strong. I want to obtain their support. If possible, I also want to rope in the Nine Yang royal race. Jiang Jiuquan saw that these tribe emperors were a little worried. He smiled and said, Everyone, there are 9 myriad realms divine suns. There is enough to go around. Hearing this, the tribe emperors' expressions eased. They immediately understood Jiang Jiuquan's ambition. He wanted to monopolize all 9 myriad realms divine suns and not let any of the other factions get one. Jiang Jiuquan sent people to communicate with these tribe emperors and told them about the ancestor divine Sunday. Meanwhile, he himself rushed to the Nine Yang Palace. On the way back to the Nine Yang Palace, the Heaven Leaping Shuttle is neither too fast nor too slow. Qin Yun is resting inside the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. He is currently sleeping very soundly. Yang Shuriyue and Xiao Yuelan have already woken up and are lying beside him. Big Sister Yang, Xiao Yun said that he did not cultivate the 3rd level of Sun and Moon Heart Sutra with Big Sister Shangyun. Do you believe it? Xiao Yuelan flipped over Qin Yun's body and arrived beside Yang Shuriyue. She hugged the absolutely beautiful Yuji and even kissed her face. Yang Shuriyue laughed lightly and said, Don't wake him up. He is very tired. He is tired because of you. Xiao Yuelan giggled and said, You even let out 2 moon fairies. You were the one who let you shouting out first. Yang Shuriyue laughed angrily and pinched Xiao Yuelan's thigh. Let's get back to the main topic. What do you think is the situation between Xiao Yun and Big Sister Shangyun? Xiao Yuelan is very curious about this matter. If he says there is no, then there is no. Yang Shuriyue said with a charming and sweet smile, I don't think so. Don't you know Sister Shangyun's personality better than me? That's true. Sister Shangyun is so pure and clean, she doesn't even want to show her face to men, let alone with Xiao Yun. Xiao Yuelan looked at Qin Yun and pouted. Xiao Yun might not even have seen her face a few times. Not necessarily. Aren't Sister Bing Xing and Ru Jing Ice cold as well? Look at them. In the end, didn't they still fall into your little husband's hands? Yang Shuriyue said with a smile. Xiao Yuelan curled her lips and said, Sister Bing Xing and Sister Ru Jing are inwardly flirtatious. They are the ones who took the initiative to attack Xiao Yun. Sister Shangyun's situation is different from theirs. Don't let Sister Bing Xing and Ru Jing hear your words. They will freeze you. Yang Shuriyue said with a smile. Qin Yun suddenly opened his eyes and said with a smile, I want to freeze you well on right now. Xiao Yun, that swindler Tian Dao's child, said you are the heavenly Dao. What's going on? Xiao Yuelon said. Chapter 23:31. Yang Shuriwa laid on her side beside Qin Yun, one hand supporting her cheek. Her soft, jade-like hand caressed Qin Yun's cheek and said softly, "Don't think too much. We still have a long way to go in the future. As long as we grasp powerful strength, we will be able to deal with all kinds of unknown variables." Big Sister Yang is right. Xiao Yuelon hugged Yang Shuriwa and looked at Qin Yun charmingly. She said with a smile, "Xiao Yun, you've recovered quite well." Yang Shuriwa smiled and pinched Xiao Yuelon. She knew that Xiao Yuelon, this female hooligan, was thinking of some bad things again. "Yuelon, stop messing around." Yang Shuriwa sat up, and Xiao Yuelon quickly helped her comb her long hair. Qin Yun admired the two beautiful jade people in front of him. He recalled all kinds of wonderful things from before. At this moment, he still has an endless aftertaste. Yang Shuriwa and Xiao Yuelon got off the bed and put on their clothes. The fragrance on their bodies became even more intense as their clothes trembled. Xiao Yuelon's moon orchid fragrance is very refreshing and pleasant. It also has a strong wildness to it. As for Yang Shuriwa's body fragrance, it is gentle and elegant, fragrant and intoxicating. They're all different. Qin Yun could not help but greedily suck it. At the same time, he recalled the madness between him and Yu Shangyun. Yu Shangyun's beautiful body fragrance is very intoxicating. It made him feel as if he was intoxicated, as if he was in a dream. Qin Yun bit his tongue and stopped himself from fantasizing. Ling Yun suddenly complained. "Xiao Yun, you didn't let me out. Otherwise, I would have been able to suppress you shouting." Ling Yun is very vexed. "You are in the tribulation gate. I can't sense you." Qin Yun laughed in his heart. Next time. Ling Yun could only blame herself. When she heard that there would be a next time, she was quite happy. After putting on her clothes, Xiao Yuelon came to Qin Yun's side and said with a smile, "Xiao Yun, what are you thinking about? Quickly put on your clothes. Get up, Big Sister Yang, and I will help you wear it." "I'll wear it myself." Although Qin Yun said that, after he took out his clothes, Xiao Yuelon and Yang Shuriwa came over to help him put them on. Qin Yun quickly put on his white clothes and then put on the inscription master's robe. He was dressed cleanly and looked extremely heroic. There was a strong aura between his brows, making him look even more charming. Xiao Yuelon hugged Qin Yun and kissed him on the cheek. She said with a smile, "My little husband is becoming more and more beautiful. It will definitely mesmerize those young ladies of the Mystic Moon clan. The next time you board the ship, you have to be careful, especially that Xiao Yuya and Xiao Yuxiang. After this, I won't board Divine Moon Clan's ship again. If Divine Moon Clan's Empress finds out, she will kill me." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, "She warned me." That's what she said, but the girls of the Divine Moon Clan really like you. If you board the ship, they will definitely not see you as a man. Xiao Yuelon giggled. "What? You don't see me as a man?" Qin Yun raised his eyebrows and said with a wry smile, "This is not a good thing." Yang Shuryu said with a smile, "What Yuelon means is that they won't be wary of you just because you're a man." "Xiao Yun, did you have a feast for your eyes the last time you boarded the ship?" Xiao Yuelon chuckled and said, "Not only did I have a feast for my eyes, the situation at that time was very dangerous. I didn't pay much attention." Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. He pinched Xiao Yuelon's face and said, "Yuelon, why are you thinking about this all day?" "Xiao Yun, I need to return to the Guanghan Palace and explain your situation to them. After that, I still have the goddess's mission." Yang Shuryu said, "We won't be able to meet again for a period of time." "Goddess's mission? Is it not done yet?" Qin Yun said worriedly. "Not yet. There will always be new ones. Our nine-son goddess relied on completing the goddess's mission to become stronger." Yang Shuryu smiled gently at Qin Yun and kissed his lips. She said, "Don't worry. I can take care of myself. You don't have to worry." Qin Yun and Yang Shuryu hugged and kissed for a while before sending her out of the heaven-leaping shuttle. Yang Shuryu used her moon fairy to travel through space and disappeared in an instant. Xiao Yuelon wants to accompany Qin Yun back to the Nine-Sun Divine Palace. Yuelon, don't you have the goddess's mission? Qin Yun helped Xiao Yuelon comb her hair. I do, but I'm not in a hurry to do it. I'll wait and see. Maybe I can bring you along when the time comes. Xiao Yuelon said. Bring me along? Qin Yun suddenly became excited and said with a smile, I've always wanted to go with you to do that goddess's mission. To be honest, we don't want to bring you along, because it's really dangerous. Xiao Yuelon sighed and said, we can obtain the protection of Mother Moon in times of danger, but you can't. So you're saying that all of you move at night? Qin Yun asked. What kind of danger did you encounter? The main thing is to encounter some very strong creatures or go to some very dangerous natural danger zone. Xiao Yuelon said, sometimes we have to find some things. This is what Ancestor God Sun arranged for us to do. Can you communicate with Ancestor God Sun? Ask it why it doesn't want to communicate with you. Qin Yun has always been thinking about this matter. We asked, but it didn't answer. There's nothing we can do. Xiao Yuelon is also very helpless and said, Xiao Yun, there must be some reason between you and Ancestor God Sun, so you can't communicate with him for now. Qin Yun helped Xiao Yuelon tie up her beautiful ponytail and then kissed her beautiful and moving face. While flying, the heaven-leaping shuttle suddenly sensed a very strong spatial fluctuation. Qin Yun thought that it was Space God at first, but then he sensed that it wasn't Space God's spatial fluctuation. The heaven-leaping shuttle immediately stopped. After the spatial fluctuation passed, a voice came through. I am Jiang Jiuquan, Nine Heavens Divine Races Clan King, Palace King Nine Yang. Can you come out and talk with me? Jiang Jiuquan is also very polite. His tone is very gentle. Qin Yun remembers this voice. It is the middle-aged man who came down from the ship with Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. There is nothing to talk about between us. Qin Yun replied in cold voice. We are now both enemies and friends. I am not afraid of becoming enemies with you. There is no need to become friends with you. There is indeed a misunderstanding between us. I am willing to do my best to make it up to you. Jiang Jiuquan said again. In this kind of situation, it is very beneficial for us to cooperate. Let's talk about it later. I am still angry. Qin Yun has not left the heaven-leaping shuttle. He is still in combat mode. Jiang Jiuquan sighed and said, Palace King Nine Yang, if you want to talk with me, you can contact me through the Myriad Realms Divine Palace. I will take my leave first. Along with a burst of spatial fluctuation, Jiang Jiuquan suddenly left. Xiao Yuelon's cold expression also gradually relaxed. She put away the blood-colored saber and said in low voice, Xiao Yun, Jiang Jiuquan must have something to ask of you. This guy wanted me to let those bastards off and still wants to obstruct me. He still wants to stop me. No matter what, I can't give him a good attitude now. Qin Yun knows that Jiang Jiuquan is very strong, so he was very cautious earlier. The heaven-leaping shuttle continued flying towards the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Just as it left the divine, sun heavenly sea, it sensed a burst of spatial fluctuation. The heaven-leaping shuttle immediately stopped. This time, it is truly the power of the space god. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon arrived outside the heaven-leaping shuttle and saw two old men outside. It is the space god who brought the nameless old man here. You two know each other, right? Qin Yun asked in surprise. We know each other, but we haven't seen each other for a long time. The space god said with a smile, I heard that something big happened in the divine sun heavenly island, so I rushed over. I didn't expect that after I arrived, I would run into an old friend. Palace King, let's go inside and talk. The nameless old man very solemnly said. Clearly he has something important to tell Qin Yun. Qin Yun nodded and then led them into the heaven-leaping shuttle. The nameless old man directly told Qin Yun that those few powerful races have already joined the Nine Heavens Divine Race and will join hands to fight for the Third Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. Jiang Jiuquan came to find me before to seek cooperation and help him fight for the Third Myriad Realms Divine Sun. Qin Yun's eyes flickered as he said with a smile, Truly interesting. This guy actually wants to find the Divine Moon Emperor. The Divine Moon Emperor will definitely drive him away, right? The space god said. He also learned about the situation from the nameless old man. Palace King, you were right not to agree to Jiang Jiuchuan's request. The nameless old man said. Old man, you're telling me this. Do you have any ideas? Qin Yun said with smile. Quickly say it. The nameless old man faintly smiled and said, I have a plan. Although it is dangerous, it is feasible. Palace King, you in the Divine Moon Race's strength is pretty good. I think you can discuss and fight for the third Myriad Realm's Divine Sunday. Feasible. Xiao Yuelon immediately became excited when she heard this. She said with smile, Xiao Yun, I will talk about Sister Shang Yun's side. Qin Yun feels that it is somewhat difficult because Yu Shang Yun doesn't want to be simple with him and might refuse to cooperate with him. The space god chuckled and said, If I can enter the third Myriad Realm's Divine Sun and control it, I will also be interested in participating. Brother Space, you have never liked to participate in this kind of dispute. Why do you want to participate now? The Nine Heavens Divine Race is very strong. You are so afraid of death. Do you really want to participate? Qin Yun said with smile. I'm afraid of death? What a joke. Although my battle strength is not high, if I want to escape, absolutely no one can catch me. I'm not bragging. In the entire deity desolate, my ability to escape is unparalleled. Why would I be afraid of death? The space god's face was filled with arrogance as he stroked his long silver hair. Beard. I'm afraid of death. That's why I ran so fast. Qin Yun laughed and said, Then, do you want to participate? The god of space smiled. Of course, with you participating, we will be much more relaxed. Qin Yun said with smile. As for the specific operation plan, we still have to discuss it with the Divine Moon Clan. All right then, I'll return to the Myriad World's Divine Court to look for little Xia. The space god smiled. Remember to contact me when you're about to act. This is my message talisman. After Qin Yun used the transmission talisman, the spatial god left with a nameless old man. This guy, why is he running so fast? I still want him to send us back to the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, Xiao Yun, foster father, also came to participate in the battle, but he left very quickly. He left together with shopkeeper Yin Long. Xiao Yuelon said, It seems like something happened to the Heavenly Dao pawn shop. Yin Long and foster father left in a hurry. Chapter 2332. Qin Yun has always been very curious about the mysterious Heavenly Law pawn shop, because many of the things inside his nine-son divine spirit came from the Heavenly Law pawn shop, and his parents in this life, as well as his first life, all had a close relationship with the Heavenly Law pawn shop. Qin Yun faintly sensed that the mysterious Heavenly Law pawn shop will be of great help to him. However, he still doesn't understand the situation. He took out Qin Long's soul-chasing talisman and looked at it, but there is no reaction at all. Dad's soul-chasing talisman is not reacting. Either he is very far away from me, or he is not in this god realm. Qin Yun muttered to himself. He doesn't believe that Qin Long is dead. Xiao Yun, let's quickly return to the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Xiao Yuelon said, After we return, I will contact the Guanghan Palace and ask Sister Shang Yun if she is willing to cooperate and fight for the third Myriad Realm's Divine Sun. It doesn't matter if she is unwilling. Qin Yun controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and quickly flew. The third Myriad Realm's Divine Sun is very important. She will definitely be willing to cooperate with you. Xiao Yuelon said with smile. Don't worry. I will convince her. Yu Shang Yun wants to keep her distance from Qin Yun. Qin Yun can feel her strong resistance, so he doesn't want to force her. As for how to capture the third Myriad Realm's Divine Sun, Qin Yun still doesn't have a comprehensive plan. As for the specifics, he will have to wait for the nameless old man's news. The nameless old man is now a spy. He can enter the ancestral Divine Sun and investigate the situation. When the time comes, Qin Yun will have a direction. Qin Yun also understands the nameless old man very well. He knows that the nameless old man will definitely ask for benefits. The nameless old man needs the Divine Universe Golden Stone very much. Qin Yun also knows how to make the nameless old man do things diligently. A few days later, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan can see the 9-yang divine palace inside the heaven-leaping shuttle. Under the illumination of the 3 myriad realms' divine suns, the majestic palace floating in the sky is even more imposing than before. When the 3 divine suns shone on the 9-yang divine palace, they were transformed into energy and absorbed by the palace's formation, then transformed into divine power that can be easily absorbed and pervaded every corner of the palace. From afar, the palace is even stronger than before. This seems to be related to the appearance of the 3rd myriad realm's divine sun. As Qin Yun approached the 9-yang divine palace, he could sense that it was very different from before. Didn't the guys from 9 heaven divine race say that myriad realms divine sun won't support 9-yang divine palace anymore? Xiao Yuelan lightly snorted and said, "Those guys are really talking nonsense." It was obvious that the appearance of the 3rd myriad realm's divine sun had greatly improved the 9-yang temple. As for what kind of improvement it would bring, Qin Yun was still unsure. Just as Xiao Yuelan said, the words of the 9 heavens divine race group are unreliable. The myriad realm's divine sun is still supporting the 9-yang divine palace. Qin Yun felt rather gratified. The 9 heavens divine race was only inside the myriad realm's divine sun, but did not have complete control over it. Therefore, the myriad realm's divine sun still took special care of the 9-yang divine palace. After approaching the 9-yang divine palace, Qin Yun could sense the radiance emitted by the hall. It was a very strong defensive barrier. That barrier was much stronger than before. With the addition of the members of the inscription gate, the barrier was further strengthened. The little black donkey's black tortoise gray formation is still very strong, and the inscription masters of the inscription gate, led by Xiao Hua, are very proficient in setting up defensive barriers. In addition to the 9-yang divine palace's original foundation, it has greatly improved in an instant. The 9-yang divine palace does not need his special care now and can also quickly grow up. This made Qin Yun feel a lot more at ease. This means that the upper echelons of the 9-yang divine palace are cooperating extremely well. Their ability and level are extremely high. Little palace spirit, I'm back. Bring me into the heavenly palace. Qin Yun arrived outside the 9-yang divine palace's barrier and discovered that the heaven-leaping shuttle could not easily pass through. The little palace spirit immediately teleported the heaven-leaping shuttle to the heavenly palace. What happened? Why did the defense increase so much? Qin Yun was outside earlier and did not discover any enemy attack. Is someone trying to attack the 9-yang divine palace? Xiao Yuelan asked. Big sister Yuelan, big brother palace king, it's good that you're back. I was very worried about you. When the little palace spirit saw that Xiao Yuelan and Xiao Yuelan are fine, he felt a lot more at ease and even hugged Xiao Yuelan. The matter of the divine sun heavenly island has not been spread back yet. So many people here do not know what has happened. Where's White Commander? Qin Yun asked. I'll teleport her over right now. She's been very tired recently because she went out to fight a few times. The little palace spirit said. The divine star race has attacked a few times. Divine star race? Qin Yun snorted. These guys, even though their emperor is gone, they're still jumping around so happily. What happened to their emperor? The little palace spirit asked. Dead, killed by your big brother palace king. Xiao Yuelan giggled and said, Little palace spirit, don't be afraid. Xiao Yun is very strong now. Really? The little palace spirit's charming face was originally filled with worry, but now it is filled with pleasant surprise. Of course it's true, Qin Yun said with a smile. At this time, Bai Si was also teleported over. She looks somewhat tired. Her petite figure is wearing close-fitting armor. She looks majestic and has the aura of a divine general. Palace King. When Bai Si saw Qin Yun return, she revealed a relieved smile. I'm back. You should rest well. Qin Yun patted her shoulder and said with a faint smile, Your father's enmity has been avenged. Bai Si is startled. She thought that she misheard. She looked at Xiao Yuelan and the little palace spirit in a daze and said in disbelief, is this possible? The divine star race's emperor is dead? Qin Yun spread out his palm, and a blue hexagonal mirror appeared in his palm. This mirror looks very small, but it is a rare heavenly divine tool. It is the Star Dome Divine Mirror. This is the Star Dome Divine Mirror. It is a heavenly divine tool. The reason why the divine star race's emperor and a few of their kings attacked your father was to snatch this thing. Now those bastards are all dead. Qin Yun was handed over to Bai Si by the Star Dome Divine Mirror. When Bai Si saw the mirror, tears uncontrollably flowed down from her beautiful eyes. This is father's thing. I often see him take it out. Bai Si sobbed in a low voice. The little palace spirit hugged Bai Si from behind and comforted her. She said in a low voice, "Don't cry. Everything is over." Bai Si quickly stabilized her emotions and wiped away her tears. She handed the Star Dome Divine Mirror to Qin Yun and said, "Palace King, I'll give this to you. I can't control this thing at all. This is your father's thing. You keep it. Even if you don't use it, it can still protect you." Qin Yun smiled slightly. Although it is a heavenly divine tool, he feels that he died in vain. He can't take it. Bai Si's beautiful oval face suddenly revealed a smile and said, "Palace King, isn't it better if you use the Star Dome Divine Mirror to protect me?" Xiao Yuelon smiled and poked Qin Yun's waist. She said with a smile, "Xiao Yun, quickly accept it. Don't tell me you don't want to protect this pretty big sister." Bai Si is somewhat embarrassed by Xiao Yuelon's words. Her face is red. She also knows that Xiao Yuelon is Qin Yun's wife. She suddenly felt that her previous words were somewhat inappropriate. "White Commander, now that I'm in the Nine Yang Divine Palace, I won't let you get hurt again." Qin Yun accepted the Star Dome Divine Mirror. This is also a heavy responsibility. Xiao Yuelon touched Bai Si's face and said with a smile, "You're very tired. Quickly go rest." Although Bai Si knows that Qin Yun killed the Divine Star Emperor, she is still somewhat worried. She said, "Palace King, the Divine Star Race and the Fire God have joined forces. They will soon launch another attack. Are you going out to fight?" Qin Yun said, "Just stay in the Nine Yang Divine Palace. They won't be able to break in. The Divine Star Race has a great formation that can form a barrier that can block the Nine Yang Divine Palace from absorbing the divine power of the Myriad Realms Divine Sunday. After a long time, our Divine Palace's barrier will definitely be broken. So, when necessary, I will bring people to fight." Bai Si said, "Big Brother Palace King, right now the Sword Hall, Dragon Hall, Beast Hall, and Thunder Hall are all very strong. With the Inscription Hall and Pill Hall providing us with weapons, divine talismans, and pills, we can go out and fight pretty well. We've beaten them back several times, causing them to suffer heavy casualties." Little Palace Spirits said, "All right, you can all go rest now. If they come again, I want to let them experience this Palace King's peak strength." Qin Yun smiled proudly. The current him is the strongest he has ever been in his 9 lives. "Then I won't go rest. I want to see Palace King's strongest appearance," Bai Si said with a smile. "Very handsome. I've seen it before." Xiao Yuelon smiled and pulled Bai Si's hand. She said, "Big Sister White Tiger, take off your armor. It's so uncomfortable to wear it." Qin Yun knows that Xiao Yuelon wants to be touchy again, so he immediately glared at her. "I'll go find the Ice Dragon." Qin Yun previously agreed with Xinyu Tianlong to let him lead the team to follow the Dragon Hall to exterminate the 9 heavens divine demons. Just as he was about to set off, he suddenly felt the vigorous divine power flowing within the 9 Yang Divine Palace weaken. "They're here," Bai Si said in a deep voice. "The Divine Star Race's great formation is covering the 9 Yang Divine Palace. The Fire God is also participating?" Qin Yun is somewhat surprised. The Fire God is one of the few powerful gods of the Myriad Realms Divine Court. This guy, I wonder how he managed to get together with the Divine Star Race. Bai Si nodded. "That's great. I'll take back the Fire God's divine position. My Fire Palace lacks a Heavenly Fire Palace Master with the Fire God's divine position." Qin Yun said. The experts of the various palaces have already gathered in the Nine Yang Divine Palace's main hall. Among them, the Sword Palace's aura is the strongest. The sword aura of that group of sword cultivators is extremely terrifying. The Dragon Palace is also not to be outdone. Many dragons are restless, wishing that they could immediately transform into giant dragons and kill their way out. Shun Changhao and Shun Ruoming of the Divine Heaven race were indeed very strong before, but now they can only stand to the side. The growth speed of the Nine Yang Divine Palace's people is so fast that Shin Changhao and the others find it hard to understand. The self-improvement race's people have suffered a heavy blow. Why hasn't White Commander come to preside over the overall situation? If she doesn't come, we'll leave. Jian Nanhu is already brimming with killing intent. Chapter 23:33. Qin Yun was teleported outside the Nine Yang Divine Palace. He stood on a platform at the top of the palace and looked at Star God outside the barrier. Star God is inside a very large star. She did not show her face, and she is very safe inside the star. Qin Yun has not seen Star God for a long time. He only knows that Star God obtained the heavenly law inheritance and then entered the heavenly divine moon to cultivate. Star God must have appeared here because she sensed the divine star race's star great formation, so she came to take a look. Fire God, you dare to call Sister Star God a slut? Watch how I'll take care of you. Qin Yun is thinking about what weapon to use to deal with Fire God. Nine Sun Heaven-raising pagoda transformed in a floating cloud rod, Nine Sun Divine Hammer, Myriad Heaven Divine Saber, Divine King Spear. These weapons are all very strong, but Qin Yun feels that even if he doesn't use weapons, he can still kill Fire God with his bare hands. No matter how strong Fire God is, he can't be stronger than those race emperors. At most, he is on the same level as Wang Ju. Wang Ju might not even be able to last 3 moves against Qin Yun. Many huge stars are floating above the Nine Yang Divine Palace. They are used to form a great formation to block the sunlight from shining on the Nine Yang Divine Palace. The God of Fire was outside the barrier, clad in flaming armor and holding a long staff that was burning with raging flames. He floated in the air with an extraordinary bearing, his entire body brimming with battle intent as he looked at the distant star where the God of Fire was. There are several hundred people in the Divine Star Imperial Palace. The few old men leading them should only be marquis. There are no dukes, because most of those dukes have already been killed by Qin Yun. There are not many dukes and kings left in the Divine Star race. Even if there are, they will stay at home and won't run around. Not to mention marquis. Even if dukes and kings lead an army, facing Qin Yun would only lead to death. Divine Judge once said that no god of the Divine Court is allowed to become enemies with the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Star God said coldly, Fire God, you are violating the Divine Court's heavenly rules. Although she is charming and flirtatious in front of Qin Yun, now facing a strong enemy, she is displaying a cold and arrogant aura. Slut, who doesn't know your relationship with that bastard Qin Yun? Previously, he helped you snatch the sun altar, causing you to be hunted down. I still remember this matter. Fire God sneered. You are definitely here to protect his shrine. At this time, a large group of people rushed out of the Nine Yang Divine Palace. The Dragon Palace Hall charged the fastest, directly rushing out of the barrier. The dragons roared in unison, covering the sky in the blink of an eye. Although the Sword Hall did not make a big scene, the moment they summoned their destiny swords together, the threatening and sharp sword force formed a gale that was like a storm formed by sharp blades blowing out. The imposing manner was sharp and majestic. The Sword Hall and Dragon Hall are showing off. Our Beast Hall will take a break. The Ancient Ox Devil also wanted to rush out, but he felt that they wouldn't be able to create a big scene, so he gave up. The group of people from the Thunder Hall were like walking berserk lightning bolts. After flying out of the barrier, the scene was not small at all and was rather frightening. The beasts of the Beast Hall were all in human form. If all of them were to revert to their true forms, it would definitely be a huge scene. Our beast hall will make a move when there are no match for them. The little black donkey said in a very proud tone. Our beast hall is invincible. With us holding the fort, they could go all out and fight. The Nine Yang Divine Palace's formation is very big. When Qin Yun saw it from the top of the Nine Yang Divine Palace, he felt secretly happy. The Nine Yang Divine Palace's growth is indeed very fast. Other than not having enough king-rank nobles, they're almost the same as those strong races in all aspects. Fire God and Divine Star race, people seem to be rather calm, but they're also very shocked in their hearts. They never expected that the Nine Yang Divine Palace would turn out in full force this time. No matter how strong you guys are, how strong can you be? You will never be able to reach the level of a strong race's king, let alone the clan emperor. Fire God said with sneer. You have never seen a clan emperor of a strong race, right? When you see those clan emperors, you will know how desperate you are. Fire God, you're just a guy who only knows how to lick the butts of strong races. Of course you will despair. We are different from you. The one who spoke is the Dragon Emperor of the immortal desolate Dragon Emperor. Io, Dragon Lord, you dragons are just pets in the eyes of the strong races, all food. Let's not talk about you guys. Let's talk about the Divine Universe Sky Dragon that you are so proud of. He was beaten away by the Nine Heavens Demon Emperor and is still hiding, not daring to come out. Fire God laughed loudly. The Divine Universe Ice Dragon is also here. When he heard someone talk about his big brother Heavenly Dragon, he immediately roared in anger and was about to rush out. Qin Yun's body flashed and suddenly appeared in front of the Ice Dragon. He said, Ice Dragon, don't be anxious. Xiao well on and by sea did not go out. Instead, they watched from the top of the palace. The sudden appearance of Qin Yun, the palace king, also surprised Fire God and the others. His appearance greatly encouraged the experts of the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Many of the elders spoke out one after another, telling Qin Yun to return to the Nine Yang Divine Palace and leave this place to them. They all knew about Qin Yun's 10 devil curse, but they never despised him. They still treated Qin Yun as the core of the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Uncle, to deal with this kind of trash, just let Pippi Pig do it. You should go back. Shimenda Zhuang carried a little pig and flew to Qin Yun's side. The star where the star god is also flickered with intense golden light. He is ready to take action at any time to prevent Qin Yun from being attacked. Qin Yun felt that he was being cared for by so many people and felt very touched. Qin Yun, you finally came out. When we attacked a few times before, you always hid like a turtle. We all thought that you had been chased out of the Nine Yang Divine Palace. Fire God laughed loudly and said, You have 10 devil curse on your body. A weak chicken like you as the Nine Yang Palace King, who would submit to you. Fire God, I went to the Divine Sun Heavenly Island these past few days. It seems like you bunch of idiots don't even know what happened in the Divine Sun Heavenly Island. Qin Yun faintly smiled. How can we not know? The Divine Sun Heavenly Island has gathered all the great race emperors. An old man from the Divine Star race said coldly, Qin Yun, someone like you is qualified to participate in such an event? What are you bragging about? In the Divine Sun Heavenly Island, 3 race emperors and a large group of kings and dukes died, and the 9 heavens demon emperor and those demon lords and demon generals also died. Qin Yun said calmly, They were all killed by me. Among them were your Divine Star race's race emperor, as well as kings and dukes. Qin Yun's words caused the hundreds of people from the Divine Star race and Fire God to laugh loudly. Not to mention them, even the people from the Nine Yang Divine Palace can't believe this is true. The 9 heavens demon emperor and those race emperors were existences that were difficult to shake to them. Qin Yun killed all of them. This is truly unbelievable. She believed it in vain because she saw Qin Yun take back the Star Vault Divine Mirror. Qin Yun, I don't believe a single word you said just now. Fire God laughed loudly and said, I know you are troubled by the 10 devil curse, but if you lie to your 9 Yang Divine Palace's people like this, It will only make them feel that you are very weak. My divine star race's race emperor was killed by you? This is too funny. Forget about the race emperor. You can't even kill our kings and dukes. Your bragging is too much. The Marquis of the Divine Star Race laughed incessantly. Qin Yun, I have another goal in coming here. I want to take back the Divine King Heavenly Seal. A guy like you is not worthy of having the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Hand it over. Fire God shouted. The flame on the flaming rod in his hand suddenly became even more intense. Fire God, I really didn't expect a dog like you to actually dare to covet the Divine King Heavenly Seal. Star God sneered. Star God, I will capture you and offer you to the Divine Star Race's Emperor as a slave. Fire God laughed sinisterly. Qin Yun is immediately infuriated. He fiercely took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal. The Divine King Heavenly Seal suddenly became very large, like a huge mountain. It mightily pressed down on Fire God. I'll give you the Divine King Heavenly Seal, but can you accept it? Qin Yun's ice-cold voice came out. It brought along an extremely strong heavenly might vibration. The surface of the Divine King Heavenly Seal is like a four-sided huge mountain, and the huge statue erected on top of the seal is in Qin Yun's form. It is several thousand feet tall. That incomparably huge statue is filled with shocking heavenly might. It has a Divine King aura that can captivate people's heart and soul. It pressed down on the space, causing the earth to shake up and down. Fire God was originally laughing, but when the Divine King Heavenly Seal pressed down, he couldn't laugh anymore. You are not worthy of a god position. Qin Yun solemnly shouted. The Divine King Heavenly Seal shot out intense light in all directions, only to hear Fire God suddenly scream miserably. Fire God's god position was stripped from his soul. This kind of incomparably intense pain. Fire God let out a miserable scream. It penetrated everyone's heart. They can't help but feel their scalp go numb. After screaming miserably for a while, Fire God's entire body seems to have been sucked dry. His body floated down from the sky. Everything he had was stripped away. Fire God participated in the attack on the Nanyang Divine Palace several times before. He was always at the forefront. His battle strength was extremely strong. But now he was killed in an instant. Come here. Qin Yun released a gravitational force and wrapped around Fire God's falling body, then controlled it to fly over. The Divine King Heavenly Seal also returned to Qin Yun's hand. This scene caused the Divine Star Race's side to feel incomparable fear, but they are not very worried because they have already set up a star great formation in the sky. After Fire God floated over, his face is filled with pain and fear. He screamed miserably. You broke the 10-image devil curse? Yes. Since you are kneeling and licking the Divine Star Race's Emperor, I will now send you to be his slave next time. Oh, that's not right. The Divine Star Race's Emperor's soul has already dissipated, so you can only follow him in soul dissipation. As Qin Yun spoke, his eyes shot out two intense light beams that entered Fire God's body. Hoo! Fire God's body transformed into blue mist. His soul and body instantly vaporized. Fire God is a very strong, sacred god. Yet he didn't die just like that. Those people who did not believe that Qin Yun killed a few race emperors earlier now somewhat believe it. And the hundreds of Divine Star Race people still do not believe it. Nanyang Palace King. So what if you broke the 10-image devil curse? With your strength, it is impossible to kill our race emperor. You are just bluffing. Today, we will use the most powerful star formation to kill you, devil cultivator here. The Divine Star Marquis's voice came from the sky. His tone seems to be able to easily exterminate Qin Yun. Boom! At this moment, a few stars in the sky suddenly shattered. Who destroyed our great formation stars? Who wants to become enemies with our Divine Star Race? The Marquis shouted angrily. Me. The person who spoke is a golden-robed old man with a dignified expression. And beside the old man, there is a middle-aged man with extremely strong sword power. The old man is the divine sky race's emperor, and the middle-aged man is the heavenly sword marquis. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.